Happy Fantasy Friday. It's time for book club. We are Lindsey,
Kelly,
and Katharine, and this is the Banner and Bookmarks podcast. We are three book besties diving into romantasy with unhinged theories and a bit of spice.
Heads up, this podcast contains spoilers. If you would like a spoiler-free introduction to the book, go back and listen to episode 1, our world-building episode for this series. But for now, we will be covering all things Direbound, and it will absolutely be full of spoilers.
So pour yourself a drink, come escape reality with us, and let's talk about books. Today, we are discussing chapters 45 through 58, which is the final stretch of chapters in this book. I cannot believe we are already there. But this discussion is going to be a fun one and a jam-packed one. So let's get started. Katharine, you want to kick us off with summaries?
Meryn is pleased that Killian has been handling all of her mother's funeral arrangements. As the ceremony begins, Meryn is touched when her entire pack and Stark show up. Afterwards, Meryn and Killian go to her mother's house to clean it out. She finds a stack of journals and is surprised that they are full of drawings and writings. Before she can show Killian, Anassa growls at Meryn to hide them. She does, and later questions her wolf about it, but of course, Anassa is not able to give her any answers.
Meryn sneaks into Stark's office and reads the books he has stashed there. They are full of information about the Sturmfrost Queens, who were the original rulers of Nocturna, a lost history that Meryn knows nothing about. There are also drawings in the books, and they match the one that Meryn's mother drew in her journals. A crown with twin wolves leaping at a gemstone that is set between them. And Meryn realizes that the glint of gold that she saw in the drain is, in fact, that crown. Stark then comes into the room, and Meryn is absolutely enraged when he won't tell her anything about the books.
The Unity trial is in 3 days. Isabel comes to Meryn's room and decides to hold a small engagement celebration for her. Meryn, Isabel, Neva, Thomason, and Venna go to the kitchens, and they drink ember wine and bake a cake together. After a bit of frivolity, Venna tells Meryn that she hasn't found anything yet, but she will keep looking.
It is the day of the Unity trial, which will simulate a coordinated Siphon attack on the castle. Remember that this is the final trial. Deimos will play the role of the Siphons, and they move into attack formations. The rest of the packs start to work together, Phylax forming a defensive line, Kryptos keeping eyes on their flanks, Strategos analyzing maneuvers and possible counter-strategies. Meryn's mind widens, and she feels the bond of her entire pack converging in her mind, filling her with instantaneous knowledge. Meryn sees it happen a split second before it does. She sees Jonah attack Henry and his wolf. The battle turns into chaos, with Deimos gaining the advantage. Meryn breaks ranks, and she delivers a swift death to Henry in order to save him from a drawn-out one. Hours later, they win, and the trials are complete. The Rawbounds are told that those who survived will officially become bonded at the graduation ceremony the next day. Meryn watches as Henry's body is taken away.
The celebration that night in the common lounge is truly unhinged. Meryn and Venna talk, and they both notice that Henry's body was being taken behind a door that led to underneath the stadium. Venna, ever the spy, takes off to investigate. Killian comes to check on Meryn, and as they start to fool around, Isabel walks in on them, and she insists that he, Killian, join the party. Stark insists that Meryn receives her tattoo to mark Henry's death. Afterwards, they go back to Meryn's room to have sex. In the middle of the night, Venna sneaks in and wakes Meryn up. She knocks on the door and says, "I found something."
Meryn and Venna start to zigzag through the castle in urgency. They start to descend, delving deep underneath the castle. Finally, they come to a hallway that is guarded and enter a gilded room. Despite its opulence, it is a prison, and a prison housing children. Finally, Meryn finds Sayla, and they embrace through the bars. Sayla tells her that she has been there for 4 months, right below Meryn's feet, the entire time. She also tells Meryn that the Nabbers are the king's guards, and that the king comes every few weeks and chooses one of the children. Sayla fears she may be next. Venna warns Meryn that they are almost out of time, and Meryn tells Sayla that they will come back and free her and the rest of the children.
Despite Anassa's warnings not to involve him, Meryn immediately goes and tells Killian everything that his father is doing. Killian is shocked, and tells Meryn that at the graduation ceremony, she should kill the king.
That next day, Meryn enters the arena for graduation, dressed in a uniform and carrying a ceremonial sword. King Cyril makes an announcement. There will be one final trial, a free-for-all battle, and it will take place right now. Iron blade in hand, he commands the wolves to kill. As their alpha, Meryn gives them a new order, screaming, "Fuck the king," snapping the blade's hold on them. The battle rages on, deaths happen all over the field, and Meryn tells her pack not to break formation, whatever happens next. Anassa then jumps onto the platform, and Meryn kicks the iron blade out of his hand. It clatters to the floor. Meryn feels the urge to take it up, and she feels an ancient power pulsing through her veins before Meryn beheads King Cyril.
Killian turns on Meryn, saying, "What have you done?" In an act of betrayal, he orders the guards to seize her. Meryn wakes up in the dungeons, Anassa beside her with a collar on. The collar prevents her from communicating with the rest of the pack. Killian enters the cell, and Meryn notes that something feels different about him. He accuses her of acting alone, trying to gaslight her into thinking he had nothing to do with their plan. He says that it is in her mind and that she is succumbing to the mental illness, same as her mother. He kisses her and leaves.
Meryn turns on Anassa, saying that the wolf should have been more forthright with her. Anassa tells her that she can still communicate with her mate, and Meryn orders her to tell her mate to retrieve the crown and bring it to them in the cells. A while later, her mate comes, and it is Kratos, with Stark at his side. He has brought Venna with him, who is waiting outside to help. Stark hands Meryn the crown. She puts it on, and the second she does, she is transported into a memory.
She sees a silver-haired woman on a throne, a crown on her head, and a sword at her side. Siphons have infiltrated the palace, and the queen hands off her infant child to a soldier, telling her to hide the child. She presses an opal necklace into the woman's hands, and she and her silvery white wolf take off to battle. Queen Kiara Sturmfrost fights a Siphon named Brightbane, and Meryn notices that he looks just like Killian and Cyril. He tells her that he has killed her husband and 3 older children, and he slices the throat of the queen's wolf, killing them both. The vision then fades, and Meryn wakes up.
The truth hits Meryn like a wave. She is Meryn Sturmfrost, the true queen. Anassa has been waiting for her so she can bond with the Sturmfrost line. She turns to Stark, and he bows to her, saying, "Welcome home, my queen." Stark tells Meryn that the bonded have been under a curse for 500 years, binding their memories of the Sturmfrost line. Together, the crown and the sword control the human bonds to the direwolves, and that blood magic has been spilled into it for 500 years, hidden under the arena. As the protectors to the royal line, his family is the only one to know the truth. He tells her that he has been protecting her the whole time. Meryn tells Stark to take Venna and go save the children, while she goes to find Killian.
The guards take Meryn to King Killian's rooms. She feeds into his story, saying that she is going mad just like her mother. She allows him to get her into a compromising position, then slides the iron blade from his hip and brings it to his throat. He admits that he knows everything and that he killed her mother so that the power would pass to her. But something changes, and the voice coming out of him is different. He is a vessel for Alistair Brightbane, the Siphon that killed Queen Kiara. Killian admits that King Cyril was a Siphon, and that he turned Killian into one the day of the graduation ceremony, passing Brightbane on to the new king. The children have been nabbed in order to feed the royal Siphons. Meryn orders Anassa and Stark in, and Stark tosses her the crown. She puts it on and instantly feels its magic. Killian tells her that he has left her a surprise, and he disappears into thin air.
Stark tells Meryn that Venna has freed the children, and Meryn immediately goes to Sayla. She tells her everything, and Sayla takes it in stride. Anassa speaks in the minds of all the direwolves and bonded, telling them the truth. And as she does, Sayla falls and starts convulsing on the ground. Meryn realizes that this is the surprise that Killian left her with, that he has turned Sayla into a Siphon. Meryn accepts her lineage as Meryn Sturmfrost, Queen of Nocturna, and swears her revenge on Killian Valtier.
Holy crap!
Oh my God.
Like, raise your hand right now if you have chills running up and down your spine. I raised 2 hands.
Two. If I had more
Catherine's,
hands.
I was going to say, Katharine, raise your hands.
I was trying to put a heating pad on.
Because we love these books, but we're also old.
Raise
Yes.
your heating pads if you think that.
In case you're wondering who our target audience is.
Right. Okay, so now knowing everything that we know, let's go back and analyze these chapters. So Killian has taken care of funeral arrangements, like feeling guilty much about killing my mother boyfriend.
I don't know. I
Or
don't think he
just
feels
trying
guilt
to
ever.
manipulate more.
Yeah. And I do find it interesting here that he buries her in a place where the faceless goddess will watch over her. It's so respectful in an odd way.
100%.
You know?
Yes. I was
It's
listening
his
to it again
hubris.
today, and I was
Still.
like,
Yeah.
oh, I love that she does actually deserve it. She's the true queen, and she does deserve it, and I loved that.
And he's respecting that.
Yeah. It's
But
weird.
It's so odd.
But he never
it's so
expects
great.
her to get that recognition. So in his mind, it's like a little joke
Yeah.
almost.
Right?
Yeah, I bet it is. It goes back to what we've said so many times. Killian is evil in the scariest way because he does not think that what he's doing is wrong. He believes that everything
Mhm.
he's doing is right. I think he did love her in his weird way. Meryn believes that he did love her in his weird way, but it was not what we would consider love. And so there's a lot of really weird parts in this book where you're like, that in itself is a really nice and kind and loving thing to do for the person that you love. But seeing it in the bigger picture, you're like, oh, it's a manipulation. It's wild.
Mhm.
Yes.
And this is when I really was convinced of the mother no name theory, which obviously that ship has sailed, Linz, move on.
Move on.
But the quote here is, the headstone is white marble, simply but elegantly engraved with her name and the words, beloved mother, friend, neighbor. That set me off. I'm wrong. I'm over it. Stop talking about it, Lindsay.
Clearly over it.
Stop bringing it up, Lindsay.
But I mean,
You're never going to
get
make
it.
the mom's name happen.
stop trying to make fetch happen. I did love that the entire Strategos pack and Stark showed up at the funeral.
Yes.
Whoever wrote this, it's definitely Lindsay.
That was me.
Lindsay in our outline wrote, my Grinchy heart grew 3 sizes that day. It was sweet, but there were so many scenes in this, like the end part of the book, this scene, and then the scene where they were like drinking and baking or whatever they were doing in the kitchen, hanging out, that made me feel so happy for Meryn to have a newfound family and her actually having these relationships with people. And this was definitely one of them. It's like, yeah, your friends care, like, too bad that you want to be like a loner and do your own thing, and you have people who care about you now. So sorry, not sorry. And I loved that they all showed up for her.
It's actually interesting that you say that because he was trying to manipulate and gaslight her the entire time. But one thing he failed to do was to isolate
Yep.
her. And in fact, by the very nature of her becoming bonded, she was always going to have more people behind her and standing with her.
I think it's wild that I feel like he would have been successful in isolating her if it weren't for Venna and Isabel. I think that Venna and Isabel are such strong characters and such strong friends. Like, they pushed themselves in. If they didn't do that, Meryn would have been like totally fine not making friends. But they kind of forced it on her. And they're like, yeah, too bad. Like, you're in this now.
Yeah.
And so it makes me love their characters that much more, because I don't think she would have had the relationships that she had without them. The twins.
Absolutely. And then we get a quote here. It's a contrast to my father's funeral, a memory I've rarely revisited. We didn't have a body to bury. His platoon had been attacked by Siphons, and he and the other soldiers were ripped to shreds. The only thing that they recovered from him was a finger.
No body.
Peter Pettigrew?
Right.
What?
What's a finger?
Guys? Right?
Like,
I was having today.
Just a finger.
I was like, oh,
like,
I'm sorry.
What do we think about this?
You literally said we didn't even have a body to bury. To me, that is huge red flags and makes me think that the father is still alive.
Or is it the
Or
author
is it the
messing
mother all
with
over
us?
again?
Like, is it a red herring? Is
be.
it, the same thing that Sable did with the one bed trope?
True.
Now, and completely ignored it. Maybe this is the same thing of like this missing father, but just
Yeah.
completely
And you gotta
ignores
think,
it.
what would be
The point.
the point? Because it's through the mother's line,
Yeah.
right? The royalty.
True,
Dad's
true.
not that important unless maybe he's Lucian.
Siphon.
Maybe he's the Siphon
I
King.
think he's a siphon. She's going to meet him on the battlefield.
In case anybody's wondering, if we randomly whisper, we decided to approach this podcast today to randomly start whispering at each other. So,
No, we didn't.
It just
yes,
sounds
we
really
did.
nice.
We're doing it right now.
It's itching my brain. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it could be a red herring. Oh, yeah, of course it can be, because I feel like they've put so many good ones in here that make you think, wait a minute, is that this? Is that this? But it opens up a world of possibilities. I'm just saying, just putting it on the record. It opens it all up. Peter Pettigrew.
Yep.
So Killian does take Meryn back to her mother's house, and Meryn finds a couple of really good things. She finds her mother's journals, and she finds an opal necklace that Anassa warns her to hide. So actually, Killian's like coming back to get her, and she hears Anassa in her mind growling, like, do not let him see that. And thankfully she listened, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, thank God.
I feel like this is the first time that she
First time.
actually listened
Right.
to Anassa's warnings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
But then trust her, like, why? Ask the question why.
Why? Anassa's not going to answer.
Can't.
Anassa can't answer, but you should have this, like, the state of mind to wonder why she was doing that.
Anassa should just say, I can't say, but I think you should read the journal.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of took it as she's growling because he is coming back and she don't like him. And I don't know why. To me, I also think that, I think who's Aaron? I think Meryn got that Anassa was telling her, like, don't let him see it. But I also think that something about those items, kind of how she's like pulled to the sword and she's like pulled to certain objects. I wonder if the necklace and the journals, like something about those things made her snap into something about this feels like I should keep this a secret. Like when she found the books in Stark's office and she was like, something about these books is telling me I need to read them. I wonder if she had any of those like gut feelings in that moment.
Are you
That's
saying
kinda how I
Meryn
read
or
it.
Anassa?
Meryn had
Meryn.
those gut feelings. Like, I don't know why I should hide these, but I think, I should hide these. You
Like
know?
she got nuts.
She got an uts, right?
Well,
Between
she
Anassa
listened.
and yeah, exactly. I think she's like, something feels like I should listen to her.
Mm-hmm.
Finally.
And the journals include a lot of information, right? So they are writings a lot about Lumina, Nocturne, and Astrione, like the name of the two countries that the story takes place in, but also wrong. So I'm guessing these are Queen Kiara's other 3 children.
Ones that were killed.
Right? The ones that were killed.
That's my guess too.
Because the mom always talked about the twins. So I'm guessing that's Nocturne and Astrione, which is the name of the countries.
Yeah.
But what is the name of the child who was saved?
Well, see, I had a different take on it.
Okay.
I feel like Lumina is the name of the country, what it is supposed to be. And I was wondering if Nocturne and Astrione, yes, are twins. But I wonder if in book 2, we're going to get really, really, really far back history to the very first queens and siphons. And maybe one of them was named Nocturne and one was named Astrione. Maybe one became the queens that bonded to direwolves, and maybe one became a siphon.
Yeah.
That's what I wonder if those twins are. Is
Maybe.
basically like the original history of everything.
Like
the
Romulus and
original
Remus in Rome.
kind of thing. Yeah, basically
The
like
wolves.
Underworld, right? One born from one bit by bat, one bit by wolf.
Wait,
type
but
of thing.
that's wild though, that theory, because if we're going with like Romulus and Remus, they're depicted as wolves too.
There you go.
And now we're talking about direwolves, so that's pretty cool. I need to now I'm gonna do some Roman history researching tonight. That's pretty funny. I
But I just
like that
think
too.
when they get history in book 2, so I like the idea of maybe that really is something to deal with their history.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right.
I also went though
Twins.
straight to those must be the names of the 3 children that were slain. But I like that too, because if Queen Kiara wasn't the first queen, right? She was the last queen. Why would the countries be named after those kids? Wouldn't they have been already named?
Yeah. So I just kind of feel like maybe it goes
unless
back.
those weren't the name of the countries then.
And then they changed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Could be too.
Because the king back then and the royal line now does oddly, despite the fact that he has named the faceless goddess, he's tried to wipe them from the history. There are things like faceless goddess statues that he still holds on to. Weirdly.
Yes.
And so it almost makes you wonder, like, how odd would it be if he tried to do away with this whole history, but then ended up naming both of the countries after her kids?
I mean, the way that Killian thinks that he's justified in all the weird things that he does, I could see it being like, the king was thanking the queens that gave him his power and his throne, and honoring them by naming the countries after them, because it really doesn't mean anything because he's still in power. Like, I could see like that kind of weird thing playing out with the way that they're
Thank you for
acting.
that. You murdered my children, but thank you for naming the countries after them. That was very kind of you.
Right, exactly. It's like the strange way that old men think. Like, thank you for giving me my crown. I will name this after your children that I've just slain. Sure. Great. Thank you.
Love it.
But Meryn finally senses a tone with Killian. This is the very first time where this girl finally sees something in his eyes or his tone and says, that's not the Killian I know. So thankfully, she doesn't tell him about the journals.
Yes.
And Meryn asks Anassa why she shouldn't tell Killian. And Anassa's response is, I've told you all I can. Now, we know this is because of the curse, but it absolutely enrages Meryn, right? But it also gets her to start thinking about things. So she wonders out loud, why did my mother suddenly get better when I became bonded? And Anassa's response is, what can I possibly tell you in here that is not written in your mother's hand?
Yep.
Like, girl, it's all spelled out for you. You just have to figure it out.
Yep. Read the damn book.
Right.
Read the damn book.
This is the first time that I think she actually is telling her something without telling her something. Like, it's all written there in your mother's hand. I was very happy about this. I actually, in the reread of this chapter, I've been all, come on, Meryn, like, get over it, this whole book. Even though I like her a lot, I'm like, man, I don't think Anassa's at fault. I don't think Anassa's at fault, but I could understand in this scene Meryn's rage even more than when I read it the first time. And I think listening to the audiobook, I get why you're frustrated. You're like, all these things are happening and you refuse to tell me anything. And I need the help. And so I was like, all right, fine. You can be annoyed. I get it.
Yeah, well, it's also different on a reread since you know everything and you know that the information is right there at the tip of her fingertips, and all she has to do is look for it, which she does next, right? She goes to Stark's office to find his books. Finally.
That's what Lindsey would have done. She'd been like, I need to go look at the books.
Consult.
Oh, look, a journal. Let me read.
Yeah. And so she feels a pull toward them. Chapter 1, the Sturmfrost Queens.
I literally highlighted it and went, gasp.
Yeah.
And like, she was like, I've never learned any about this. Ding, 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 ding.
Listen up. So it is, it's a history of Nocturna, handwritten. And one of the first quotes in the book that she says is the Sturmfrost Queens were the original rulers of Nocturna, the book proclaims. A long matrilineal line of bonded warriors with incredible powers who ruled the kingdom for centuries. The dates listed are long before King Cyril's line took over.
When they said those incredible powers, I wondered, shadows? Premonitions? Because I still am not sure that her visions, although they are visions about her history, right?
Mhm.
I wonder if they're more than just simple visions about reconnecting with her history. Maybe there's as far as could be premonitions,
Yeah.
perhaps.
Yeah. But also powers, like we've talked in previous episodes about the powers of the pack, and is it true? Do you each have your own like magical power, or is it the power of the pack combined kind of thing? And this makes me think that there are actually people who will show signs of magic, innate magic within themselves. And I feel like this kind of proves that the women had real power, and it's not just because you're bonded and through the wolf. I believe that wolves probably have power as well, but it's not just the wolves. I think it's going to be in the humans too, in the people too.
Yeah. Either way, I think book 2, we're going to get a massive introduction to powers.
Yes.
Right.
Powers, magic, history. Our hearts are going to melt.
I know.
We're going to be so happy.
History of magic. My favorite class.
are going to be so much fun.
We're going to be like, and so, guys, 101.
The tabs.
I know. It's going to be so good. I'm going to need to buy two books, one to edit and one to...
yeah. The tabs will be tabbing. And then another quote here from the books. Then, as the legends say, the faceless goddess sought to uplift humans and balance the power between us and our enemies. So she blessed King Cyril's ancestor with the Iron Blade, giving him the power to control the wolves and use the ability to bond with them. That gave us the strength to drive the Siphons off of our land, thus beginning our centuries-long war between our kingdom and Astriona.
Lies.
Fake news. Fake
Absolutely
news.
All
fake
wrong.
news.
This is everything that Meryn thinks, but is now being proved wrong by reading
Crazy.
these untaught histories that are in this book.
And they're
right?
legends. I like that they call them legends. People are just talking this shit. It's not real shit.
Right? Yeah. Nocturna is actually a millennia older than they have been taught.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of history erasing.
Yep.
There are people.
Yep.
Easy to do when you got a nice little blood curse going on.
That it sure is, where you can make everyone forget.
A little blood curse.
Just a little blood curse.
The drawings in the books that she sees in Stark's office match literally exactly the drawings in her mother's journals, which she's like, wait a minute. How does my mom know this? What has she seen? And she realizes that the crown that she drew is also the same one that she saw under the arena floor. And in that moment, Stark comes in, and Meryn realizes that Anassa and Stark have been working together, and they have this whole scene where she's like, tell me everything. And he finally, I think, starts to hint at her, right? I can't tell you anything about that. I also can't tell you anything about that. Come on.
Hint, hint.
Come
nudge,
on.
Nudge.
Seriously, Meryn, think about why they can't talk about that. She does not. I think she is so overwhelmed with so much information and so much like, wait a minute, hold on, this is so much bigger, that any hope of her asking a question, which was pretty low because as we've seen, she is not very inquisitive, just went out the window. She was like, what the frig?
But at least she decides, I'm going to get to the bottom of it.
Yes.
Despite them, I'm going to figure it out myself.
Yep.
So, I mean, at least she's taking initiative.
She is.
Finally.
She's committed. She just doesn't always do it in the most strategic way, which is wild to me because she's in the Strategos pack.
Right.
But like strategy.
Yeah.
Yep.
But actually,
War strategy versus knowledge strategy. You feel like it's different?
yeah.
How much time do we got?
The Strategos pack has information thrust upon them.
Okay.
And Meryn
Okay.
is not inquisitive, so she's good at processing information forced into her
Yes.
face. She is not good at seeking out that information.
Mic drop. You are so correct. She
Are
literally
people born wicked, or do
Or
they have wickedness
thrust upon them. No one molds the wicked. Anyway, okay, wait.
Sure.
Katharine, you literally deserve a mic drop for that because you are so right. Because there are so
can't
many
drop it.
scenes
Too
in the Unity trial where you see she is taking all the information that everyone else has. Okay, here's a strategy data piece A, B, C, D, E. Takes it all in and says, okay, based on the information that I get, I'm going to tell this. She don't ask them a single question. She's given info and then she can strategize. So you've hit the nail on the head. That's what her skill is. She can take what's given to her, but she can't go out and she can't seek and find. She's not a hunter gatherer.
That's
She's
what
a
her
gatherer, not a
minions
hunter.
are for.
That's what's for.
That's what her minions are for.
Her betas.
Her betas.
Her betas, her
Such a
gammas.
beta. What a beta.
Stark,
oh my
go
God, I'm
get
going to
me
start
the
calling people that.
information.
Such a beta.
Yeah, what a beta.
The Unity trial is in 3 days. Isabel comes to her and they have a cute little engagement party in the kitchen where they try to bake a cake and fail at
So
baking
cute.
a cake. But it's
I
really
love it.
adorable.
I
It's
love
The
it.
adorable.
bonding part is the important
Yeah.
part, even though they
Yes.
burn it.
It gave me the feels.
Yeah.
Meryn shows her engagement bracelet. Wrought gold band, shimmering black diamonds, huge blood red ruby. Right in the
Second
middle.
time they called it blood red.
Blood red.
Ding, 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 ding.
And Venna says that she hasn't found anything yet. Remember, she's just as curious what's going on in the castle and is
Yeah.
trying to do as much digging as possible, but she's going to keep looking. And the day of the Unity trial, which is the culmination of this whole proving period, and the king's there, the nobles are there, and it's to prove to everybody that they can work together across all of the packs.
But then Jonah, the dickwad, that morning threatens Meryn, saying it's a good day to weed out any unsuitable common blood.
Does anybody find it weird she's taking this test to begin with?
As an alpha?
She's the alpha.
I know.
She's already been selected.
You're so right.
Why is she taking this test?
You're
Because
so
if she
right.
didn't imagine the chaos that, like, she still has to prove herself as alpha.
She
Yeah.
doesn't. They chose her.
I think she has to prove herself to her
herself.
pack. No, like to her pack, like not the wolves necessarily, because the wolves made the choice. But imagine a human, if you're now brand new chosen leader who had no history, like they
Right.
are all from bonded families. This new chick shows up out of the blue, knows nothing about
Is chosen.
what's going on, is chosen, and they're like, oh, by the way, you don't have to do shit. I would riot.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
would not put my trust in that person at all.
But you already did. You chose them as the alpha, though.
No,
Like,
They
the
didn't.
wolves,
The wolves
did.
did.
The
and you are
humans
not to
did
question the wolves.
But I feel like, yeah, I kind of agree. Like, I get what you're saying. She
Yeah.
is the alpha, but I get, especially because it's called the Unity trial. Like,
Yeah.
the whole point is for humans,
You're
wolves,
still a raw
everybody
bound, even though
to
you're
be
alpha.
in unity.
Yeah.
So when Jonah says this to Meryn, at first, like Meryn, I was completely taken aback. And then when I saw what happened a couple of pages later, it almost hit me even harder
Yes.
that this is what he was talking about.
Yeah.
I hated him even
Yeah.
more.
Because he
in that
told
moment.
he told her what he was
He
going to do.
taunted her.
Yeah. And made her
And-
think it was about herself, which you can say all you want. Oh, why is she just so about herself, about herself? Of course you're going to think he's talking about you.
Yeah.
He's had a target on your back the entire time.
Yeah.
You killed his girlfriend, right? Like it was your fault that she died. And you really are going to tell me that you're not going to think he's talking about me. You're going to be self-centered in that moment. So like,
Yeah.
for sure.
you know, I get it.
It's natural.
I get it. Right. I
Yeah.
would have been like, yeah, he's talking about me. He said a blonde girl, and I'm the only blonde girl ever. So it must be me. That's how my brain works.
Yeah, there's only like one other blonde person in this
Right.
crowd, so obviously it's me.
It's obviously
So it's
always
me or you, Kelly.
Me or you.
Me or you, where one of us is out.
But I'm sitting there saying, oh, is it me?
It's you. Right,
No.
exactly. But that's how my
Yeah.
brain works. It's like, oh, it must be me because that one thing out of the 10 things you listed has to be me.
Today's trial will simulate a coordinated Siphon assault on the castle. Deimos will play the role of enemy forces attacking from multiple positions. Phalanx is just kind of there being
Phalanx.
Hufflepuff. I'm going to be honest. Their whole role was just kind of like, they're just there. They're
They're
just,
just
there.
hanging.
They're just
The
hanging.
Guardians.
Yeah. Cryptos
Guarding
is
you.
doing their cool little spy intelligence thing, and Strategos processing all that information, coordinating everything. Battlefront, guys. Let's go.
They're in it.
They're
They're
in it.
And then Meryn says, quote, all of it washes over me faster than the human mind can process. There is no thinking, only knowing. It's like all the information that she's getting from Anassa and all the other wolves, and she's able to just take it all in and just
React.
know.
It's instant.
Yeah, it's cool.
It is very cool. It is
I like
very
that
cool.
description because then you
Mhm.
kind of know it's not like I'm not taking the time to
Right.
communicate and talk to you. It's like instant brain knowledge.
They just, yeah.
Yep. I
like
love
they're all
that.
connected. Which when you think about it in battle, imagine the advantage that an army would have if the leaders didn't have to communicate to people underneath them. Everyone just automatically knew what was going to happen and how they were going to react to their enemies. It's like that instantaneous knowledge is a huge advantage.
Yeah. Yeah,
in
it's like a
war.
true hive mind.
Yeah, I almost like it does make me excited to see because we're assuming that in either book 2 or in book 3 they will be on the battlefront, right?
Mhm.
So it'll be cool to see how this actually translate into real life battle time and how the enemy is poised to handle that. Like they have to if this advantage was really that much of an advantage against them, the war would have been done years ago, right?
True.
But it's not. So, what advantage do the Siphons have that
Speed.
takes away
Right.
from that?
Yeah.
Like that's kind of a neat thing to look forward to when we go into battles in books 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Lots
I feel
of
like they
Siphon
need
knowledge.
to be able to do this just because siphons can go so quickly. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's no processing time because they can go so fast.
Yeah. And I mean, they're siphons. They can siphon other people's power, right? Killian says something to Meryn at the end, like, thanks for the gift of this power. And so I wonder if part of it is that they can use part of an advantage with the power that they get from the people that they're fighting. I'm curious to see how they build up
Yeah.
the
It'll be cool to
Siphon.
see
Yeah.
how that plays out.
Yeah. So Jonah, we should have realized it. We should have seen it coming. Well, maybe no. It's clear why we didn't, but Jonah attacks Henry, the only other commoner blood in the Rawbounds. And Henry's wolf turns on him, and we get a quote, sometimes extreme pain can sever the rider-dire-wolf bond. So Henry's wolf was bitten really bad on his leg, and they talk about how it hit like a main artery, and the pain was so extreme, and it was a fatal bite. And it was really, really awful. Meryn decides to actually break rank and mercy kill Henry, which is, I cannot imagine having to make that decision for your friend and knowing that he is going to die and he's going to suffer and you can help him suffer less. Geez, you've been an alpha for how long and you're how old and you've been in this world for how long and these are the decisions that you're making. I think it's really like humbling this scene, but Anassa comforts her, and we really kind of love this moment, right? Like it says she turns her head, dipping it low to drape herself over my shoulder briefly. It's like such a comforting
Little hug from the dog.
little hug, good dog.
Yeah. Well, we've seen Anassa before appreciate Meryn's willingness to kill.
Yes.
And defend herself. And so to me, it's beyond comfort. It is you're doing the right thing.
It's a kindness.
This is a kindness. It's a mercy kill. I support this killing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do like that. Not just I'm here for you, but like acknowledging you are making the right choice. And sometimes you need that. Yeah.
I was just so shocked though that this entire mock battle takes hours after that before it finally ends. Like,
yeah, same thing. When I read it, I think I had to go back and go, wait, did she just say hours?
Yeah.
Imagine going through this for hours.
No. It probably is supposed to, I mean, when they say it's supposed to be like on the battlefield, they really mean it. Cause battles can go on hours, days, weeks. And so they were not joking.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it makes sense. It is the final test. It's supposed to simulate a mock battle, like you said. But I was the same way. I was like, hours? Holy crap.
Yeah, right.
It's a long time. But at the
it's
end.
Not like a 60-minute timer. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. But at the end, you graduated. You're bonded. Congrats.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're alive.
Well, they get a whole lie told to them. They say, congrats, those who survived will officially become bonded at tomorrow's graduation ceremony. We see later that ain't true. He's got some tricks up his sneevely sleeves.
I think he meant it. I think they meant it in that moment.
You do? You think he changed his mind?
Well, who said that, first of all? Did the king say that? I don't think the king said that. I feel like Stark says that.
Stark or no, Egith's not there.
No, the main instructor.
The professor dude.
Aldrich.
Yeah. I don't think that this was the king saying this in the moment. So it makes sense in the moment that this would be
Supposed
the
to be.
official last ceremony. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But
Mhm.
she does see them dragging Henry's body away, but through a door that leads under the stadium.
Right.
And I love how both Meryn noticed it, but when she talks to Venna about it later, Venna's like, oh yeah, I saw that too. What is going on under the stadium?
Right, because usually they're supposed to be taken to the gates, right, to like help collect their things so they could be buried by their family, and that did not happen. So I was like, what's going on over here? I didn't love it.
So important to note for listeners that this is the moment in between these scenes that Killian takes over the Siphon.
Yeah. Brightbane?
The Siphon takes over Killian.
Or the Siphon takes over Killian. So this is the moment here. And that's why Henry's body was taken away, because the very next morning, right before graduation ceremony, Killian goes through his transformation and feeds on Henry's body as his first Siphon feed. So we don't see this happening, but it's important to point out that this is when that transformation happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go to the Rawbound celebration. Venna and Meryn both talk about Henry's body, trying to come up with what they're going to do to explore what's going on under the stadium. And finally, I'm glad Meryn trusts Venna to mention the crown to her and asks her to go find the crown under the stadium. I was really proud of her for bringing it up and telling Venna specifically, and thankfully not fucking Killian. That was my favorite move she has done so far. She trusted the right person here.
And it's funny because the only reason she trusted her was but she didn't want to tell Killian because she wanted to make sure that if she was going to say something bad about his father, that she got it right. It wasn't necessarily because she didn't trust him, but it was like, it was still the right move because you
it's
didn't
right,
want to
but for
trust
the wrong
him.
reasons.
Right, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, that's kind of a genius way to keep him out of it.
It is. But Stark gives her the biggest hint that he will have Meryn's back as the true queen. He says, actually, the crown is very much my business, since my family are their sworn protectors.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if he did that in that moment. He's like, hello.
I am the sworn protector.
Do you see this eye twitching? It's been twitching for 4 months, lady.
But then nasty Killian comes into her room.
Damn party.
We are over Killian.
I'm over Killian.
Ugh.
And she tells him to leave a mark, and he bites her.
Mm-hmm.
And literally, that is the worst foreshadowing I've ever read in a book in my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
Ew.
Gross.
And we like biting, but we don't like it here. We don't like it here.
Nasty foreshadowing, but effective foreshadowing nonetheless, because that motherfucker is a vampire.
Yep, he sure is. That motherfucker's a vampire. Put that on a shirt. Nasty but effective, because that motherfucker is a vampire.
That motherfucker is a vampire.
Okay, so Isabel comes in and interrupts them. And my first thought when I was reading it the first time was, thank you, Isabel, for interrupting. You're saving us. But really, she only interrupts for a second, because then they do go off later. And I was like, God damn it.
But Isabel is she's funny. Like the way she talked to him, like referred to him as like princeliness. And I just like her.
She gets shade.
Well, I like it that, she's meeting her best friend's fiance for the first time, who happens to be the crown prince. And she's like, hey, come play a drinking game with us.
She's
good
great.
for you.
Like you do.
Good for you. Like yes, I'm going to respect you as my prince, but you're my best friend's fiance.
Right.
And so I want to hang with you. Like we're going to end up being cool.
Right. And
she assumes.
And let's be real, we're all like the same age, and who cares? Just get over yourself. We're gonna hang out and play games. I like it.
Exactly.
And she gets the next tattoo, her Henry tattoo.
Yep.
But it's from Gamma Eleanor instead. So
she did not want Stark to touch her.
No, not the sexy Stark tattoo. But she gets her new one to commemorate him. And then they go back to Killian's room. And this is a scene where they have very strange, again, but very domineering sex. And he ties her to the headboard with his belt. There's a lot. If at this point in the book, you have not switched from your, oh my God, there's great spice in this book, to, wait a minute, this is really problematic. Want you to go back and read it again and think to yourself why that is, because I feel like there are hints.
Yeah.
And it was hard to read. Is this sexy?
This is not sexy.
No, we need to.
This is not sexy.
No, we need to go to therapy and think about this.
And again,
bit,
I get where people, and I had that on my first read, like before we get up to this, I'm like, well, maybe that's just what she's into.
Yeah.
But it definitely, the sex crosses a line into, and I think it was from the last sex scene onwards where like she tries to take control and he's doesn't let her. I think that was really the moment where you're like, oh no, this isn't just about she likes domineering sex. This is domineering sex.
This is abusive. Yep.
And contrasting a very intimate moment she had with Stark where she literally grabs his hair and he licks her and bites her too. But that together felt like they were on equal footing.
Absolutely.
That's the difference.
Yep. She took control in that moment, and she has never been able to take control with Killian. Really good point.
Yep.
So Venna comes and gets her. They're asleep. She knocks on the door. And she says, you need to come here right now. I need to see this. And so she leads her underground. And Meryn is, as they're going, is kind of recognizing some of the surroundings as the place where she and Killian actually interrogated the nabber that she killed. And they come to a passage where there is smooth white marble veined in gold. And it is a prison that is holding the children that the nabbers have taken. And she finds Sayla. This is such an emotional scene. And they're finally reunited, and Sayla like just tells her all the things, right? Like how long they've been there and how scared she was and what the nabbers, like how they came to get her, whatever. And it's just a very emotional reunion.
It was.
So I want to go back to that description of the smooth white marble veined in gold. Like, yes, it's a prison, but it's a really beautiful
bars
prison.
are made of gold.
Yes.
Right. Like, so what do we think that is? Is it because it's the king's chamber? I wondered if it was the old castle potentially, and like the new castle had been built on top of it.
Could be. It's
like,
been
is it just because
years.
he didn't? Yeah, like, is it just because he didn't want to keep the children in a nasty, terrible place because he eventually wanted them to be eaten?
Right.
Or like, is there something to that description?
Or he didn't want to feed in a nasty, terrible place when he ate the children.
That's true if he went
but
down
either
there.
way, there is a beautiful, opulent prison.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of
Not
wonder
a normal dungeon.
No.
Yeah, like
exactly.
I kind of wonder what the history of that place is. And I hope that's something that we find out later.
The gold kind of gave me pause because
palace.
But her bracelet is also gold, and the bracelet is like the gold is part of what holds her and keeps her powers down. And so I was wondering if the fact that there was gold marbled in the walls and that the cage was actually gold, if that was on purpose to help dampen any of the powers that maybe any of the children maybe had, because we know that the wolves aren't the only ones with power. And so it helped keep them docile. It helped them maybe say yes to things or kind of keep the king safer, since I don't think the king has any powers.
Or silver historically is a deterrent against vampires. Maybe gold is going to be, like you said, a deterrent against wolves and that line. Maybe.
Could be, yeah.
So I do have a question though in this scene, because it's just a random passage that I highlighted and I found it odd, and even doing a reread, I don't really see anything there, and I found it just strange to me. So I'm just bringing it up on the off chance it maybe holds meaning in later books. But when they've discovered all the children are there, Anassa can sense what's going on at the same time. And Meryn says, I can sense my wolf's gaze moving over these lost children. Seeing these children disturbs Anassa deeply. That makes sense. But here's the weird part. Like the ache of a long lost memory. The feeling remains immaterial and vague. What long-lost memory of lost children could Anassa be having these powerful feelings about right now? That seems maybe. I mean, maybe
kids.
maybe the
Queen's
3
children?
kids.
Yeah, that's the only other children that we know
But
of.
then that gets you thinking. Anassa was obviously not that wolf. We know she's hundreds of years old.
I think it's her
and
mother
that
or her
happened
family.
500 years ago. We don't know if she was alive at the time. We don't know if it is her family. But it's like if she's saying it's a memory, memory implies you were there.
Yeah.
So then you have to wonder if Anassa was there when that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to think that she was. Like, I definitely get the sense that Queen Kiara's fully silver wolf was definitely related to Anassa. It just feels like it would make sense that the queen line would pass down. So I don't know if it was
like her own mother.
Right, and they're fully silver. And so I wonder if it was her mother. And so Anassa was there because it was her mother and she remembers the loss of her own mother and the loss of the children.
And it would make sense because they said she's hundreds of years old waiting. And we pondered, well, what does that mean in actual years? Like hundreds is a very vague term.
Yeah.
Could she truly have been there and she truly has been waiting? Like maybe she was supposed to be bonded to the next line, the next
No, I think
female.
it has to be because there has been no other queen, right? Like that was the last queen. And so if she's been waiting all this time, it's because I think she was supposed to be bonded to the next queen and then it never happened. So I bet you that that's right. I bet she's witnessed the last queen die and has been waiting for the next one to bond.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel. I don't necessarily like the she was supposed to be bonded to the next queen because I feel like it takes if she's supposed to bond to her, to me it takes away from her actual connection with Meryn. You know what I mean? Like I know that she was supposed to bond with somebody. But I don't know, for some reason, when you said that sentence of like, she was supposed to bond to the next queen, it bothered me. And I don't know why. Like, it made me feel like Meryn and Anassa
like had no choice in it.
Yeah, or like they weren't fated to be with each other.
See, but I feel like it is fate.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
See, I still see it as fate. Like I still see it as like it was meant to be. Not like it would have just been anyone. I still see it as she is fated to be with this line that their blood is so strong. So, but I get what you mean. Like you want it to be that like truly the two of them.
First choice,
right? Not like any queen.
Yes, exactly.
I get that.
Yeah.
I still think it was supposed to be them, but
still
I get what
think
you're
about
saying.
their first initial interaction. Anassa did not want to choose her. She's like, I've been waiting for you. Well, I mean, even though if they're supposed to make that choice,
and because
but still, like, I mean, it fits with her own resentment as you were that initial person. So that kind of does fit with it. She was waiting for her person. So there is a little bit of
what I
fate,
got.
interplay in it.
Yep. Yeah, for sure.
I got you. But I do like, Katharine, that quote that you pointed out about the long lost memory. I think that's interesting. I think it's set here as a reminder to us of what Anassa has been through and what she has seen over the years, you know?
100%.
Even if it doesn't have to do with their fate and their bond or actually missing children, it just shows the pain that she has witnessed waiting all this time.
Over a long life.
Yeah, exactly. And the knowledge that she brings to the table too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we find out that it was the king's guards that took Selah, and every few weeks the king comes in and picks one of them, and Selah is worried that she is going to be next, right? Do we get a reason why she thinks that? Or is it just he's been giving her funny looks? Does she feel like it's her time? Premonition?
Yeah. Oh, maybe. I listened to it again today, and her reason that she gave was he's coming, he's taken 6 of them. I feel like I'm next. There's only so many of us. So I feel like it's like it's just getting down to there's only a handful of us. So it's got to be me soon kind of thing, you know?
So for me, reading these chapters from here on out with Selah, I also think it's important to remember that Selah is also part of this matriarchal royal line.
Sure is.
So if anything happened to Meryn, Sayla would be the next in line. So Sayla likely has the same powers in her that Meryn does.
Yep.
It also makes sense why, though, she has been kept alive, because Killian knows who Meryn is. The king knows who Meryn is. They know who Sayla is. They need to keep her as that backup.
That's true.
See, I feel like the opposite. I feel
Really?
like to me, that's why she feels like she's next, because think about it. If you have you have the whole family line, right? You've got one sister under your grasp. Who is going to taste, whose blood is going to taste the sweetest and
give you the
right full
power.
of power?
Yeah.
Do
Her
not
younger
disagree.
sister.
Do not
Yeah.
disagree. But
Ugh.
they haven't completed that circle yet. Like, they only recently gave that engagement bracelet. So I feel like Sayla was taken while all of that could happen,
sure.
and
Yeah.
was kept alive until they
Yeah.
could ensure it happened.
Right. And what if
Yes.
during the trials the Jonah killed her and decided and turned on her? Then what? Then they're out of luck. Then they don't have a queen. Right? So it's
they
almost
don't
like a
want-
backup plan.
I feel like they don't want one, though. Like, again, it kind of goes back to like what their intentions were. Like for Killian, we kind of talked about it's completely hubris. And actually, this is a good time to bring in one of the questions that we asked Sable.
Yeah.
Tell us more about Killian's intentions to help Meryn become a bonded. Was it just his hubris, thinking that he could control her and use her for his own power? Obviously, he knew who she was, so one would think that he would keep her far away from the castle and finding out. But he pushes her towards it. Why? And Sable's response is his intention was to get her to inherit her powers fully so that he could use them. We'll see a lot more of this in book 2. That's as much as we can say without spoilers.
Yeah, because he's a Siphon, so he's going to use them because
Absolutely.
they're going to be
But that was
mated,
clearly
bonded.
Killian's plan, not the
Yes.
king's.
True.
So, I mean, I still think that it's like, we know who the descendant is. We've figured that out.
Yeah.
We need to have both sisters under control
Yeah.
in one form or fashion. Meryn realizes that she and Venna cannot free them right now, any of the children.
Yeah.
And that's devastating. Like, you found your sister and you have to leave her here. But she
Absolutely.
promises Sayla they will come back for them. Anassa warns her, do not tell anyone. There's a quote here: I've never been able to shake the acute feeling that she possesses every answer I could ever need, but refuses to give me the knowledge. Now, hold up, Meryn. You've realized that where these children have been kept is the general place where you and Killian held that nabber and you killed that nabber. But you just are going to completely disregard that piece of information. You're going to blame the king for everything. And you're not going to even consider the possibility that Killian knows about the children being held here. She just muses more about how she doesn't trust Anassa because she's kept all this from her. And then she says, Killian will help me out.
Yep. She's so blinded. She's so blinded
So
by
blinded.
love.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I know we have talked about it before, that I get it. She doesn't ask questions. She's not inquisitive. She wasn't raised in this world. But these are definitely those moments that I was so frustrated with Meryn as a main character. Yeah, I just, come on, girl. And she goes even farther. She says, there's someone else that I do trust, who has always prioritized me, always looks out for me, who understands my pain and tends to my wounds, who tells me everything he knows. Killian was horrified by the nabbers. He brought one of them to me and helped me torture the man for information. He's voiced his suspicion to his father and his desire to change the kingdom so many times. I've seen the spark in his eyes when he talks about the future, or the world he dreams of building together.
You dumb broad.
Like, how, like you're saying, how in this moment can all of those things happen? Can you know that he is a prince and he knows everything that's going on, and you're brought into the royal gilded dungeons and you go, oh, yeah, he's probably good.
Anassa, don't tell anybody. I'm going to go straight to Killian.
Yeah.
And then she does. She goes straight to him. He's shocked.
Shocked, I say. That is brand new information.
That is brand new
Oh my gosh.
information.
There's vampires? Oh my God.
There's children? This is a travesty.
Dick.
Okay. I do not disagree. I hate him.
But she's about to say but.
I am. I'm going to say but.
She's going to
Because-
defend Meryn. She's going to be that
No. Okay.
counter.
Yes. Because how many times do we see women in real life get cheated on by their men, get treated terribly by their men, who are these sneaky guys who they seem great on the outside and you would never believe that they would do these things, and then they do those things. And I feel like Killian was written as the perfect manipulative character.
Yeah.
He did all the right things at the right times to make her truly believe that he loved her. And like, if someone told me tomorrow that my husband was cheating on me and had this whole double life, I would not believe them. I have a friend from growing up whose father had a entire second family that, when I tell you this man was a great dad to all of his multiple kids, he had a whole other wife and children that nobody knew about. And so I'm not defending her. What I'm saying is there are manipulative, terrible people who love you in their weird ways, who make you believe that you truly are loved and cared for by them. And so as much as I want to shake her because we were meant to see that he was not being fully transparent, I get it because we see it happen all the time. And so that's like, I get it. I get it.
We got a counter but.
We have a counter but.
Yeah.
When
You're served, Lindsey.
you are in an abusive relationship, a lot of times you put it on yourself, right? Like you put the blame on yourself because what's happening, you're getting cheated on, you're getting hit, and you put that blame on yourself. But this is to her family.
Yeah.
Like, I think that it's different. And yes, I do agree with you that Killian used manipulation to keep a hold on her. But the minute my sister comes into play, the minute I find out that you're not just doing me dirty, you're doing my family dirty, I feel like that should have been the moment where she snapped and went, wait, this is bigger than me. This isn't just about me. He kidnapped.
But I don't think she got that yet. I don't think
but
that
that's
she
what
got
I'm
that
saying.
yet.
Like that's what bothers me.
Like I think that she thinks that he is against his dad. And so I think that she believes him because he's doing things against his dad or saying that he's doing things against his dad. And so she keeps them separate.
No,
so,
I get it.
Yeah.
But she shouldn't. Like, if there was a moment where it should have snapped with her, it should have been when her family was brought into the situation. Like that, it should have raised her hackles and she should have said, oh, wait, there's more to this. Not, oh, I'm just going to completely blindly trust these people. I don't know. Like it went from being about about herself and about their relationship to something much bigger. And it really bothers me that she did not think to question the bigger picture here.
I totally get that. I
think you're saying like her ignorance can only take her so far.
Yeah.
In your forgiveness for that ignorance,
you before she would have been smarter earlier.
Before you basically say the fact that you find yourself in this situation is you need to look introspectively because I'm not giving you any more passes.
Yeah. And we've all seen it too. Like we've seen women get it early on and be like, wait a minute, I'm not going to, and get themselves out of situations. And we've seen women and friends that you want to shake and be like, how do you not see it? Meryn is the latter. She is the one that you're like, how did you not see it? So totally get it. I just think it's a genius character writing because
it is on him.
I see why she believes him, and it's evil as frig. It's evil. It's damn right evil.
And he convinces her the next day at graduation to kill the king. Obviously, I should hope. We're all thinking, okay, well, that's a massive setup. Sure. Let me go, please kill my father for me so I can be the king. And also, as an aside, so we know that Killian right now is being possessed by the Siphon. She just told Killian she knows where her sister is. I feel like this is probably also the same time Killian turned Sayla into a siphon.
Because she left.
Well, I don't know that he's turned.
No, like
yet.
after this point. No, this is the day before graduation, so he's about to be changed. No, I'm saying like right now before graduation, this whole day of motion of things happening, he's turning into a siphon.
The next day.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if after all of this, he's like, oh, I'm going to go turn Sayla into a siphon as well.
Yeah, when did he make that decision?
I totally agree that it was a full manipulation of like, oh, you're going to kill dad and I'm going to become the king. Did anyone think that he was going to gaslight her and be like, oh my God, what did you do this for? I did not get that. I did not get that at all.
I thought it was a complete setup. And I was like, he is going to blame you. You've killed the king. He is now king and he's going to drop you. Saw the whole thing
I didn't
coming.
get that. I thought that he was going to be part of it. I thought that there was something, but I did not. I knew that he was like, obviously he wants to be king, but I did not see that coming.
I was screaming.
Yeah, I agreed. I thought he was going to use it to his advantage of like, look at the evil that we killed off.
Yes.
Now let us take power. Look at this powerful woman that I've brought to my side. Kind of thing.
Yeah, I did not see that twist coming.
He always talks about them being on the throne together, but think about the way he always describes it. You're on my lap. You're naked on my lap. You're kneeling in front of me. At the end of the day, whether he says he loves her and in his twisted mind thinks he loves her, means he loves her, and even if he thinks they will be ruling this world together, at the end of the day, it's Killian first and Killian later.
Yes. Yep. 100%.
So it's the next day. It's time to go to the arena for the ceremony. So Killian is turned right before the ceremony. So from here on out, he's a siphon. He has Brightbane in him. Brightbane knew that there was a plan to kill the king and insisted that he be transferred to Killian. So you have to figure that means that the king also knew that his death was coming. Right?
Or I don't know it. We don't know that. We don't know Killian told his father that she's going to kill you. Like that might have been Killian acting on his own to take care of it.
I feel like if the siphon leaves you, you gotta wonder
if your life is coming to a close. But technically speaking, and it's interesting to note, King Cyril is still alive without the siphon in him. So as possessions go, the siphon can leave your body, and that does not in and of itself kill you. It takes cutting off your head.
Yeah.
You know, the old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
Right. Of course.
Makes me also wonder if he does have any kind of premonition power that he siphoned from somebody and knew it was coming, like you said.
Either way, he does die.
I don't think he has any power. I don't think the king does. No,
I don't think the king does.
Oh, no, I don't think the king has any power. But
siphons
can siphon
he does.
Other people's
Siphons
powers.
have power, I guess. So they have siphon power.
Yeah.
But I don't think this had anything to do with premonition power. He straight up knew that there was
something going on,
a plan. I mean, you know what I mean? Like Killian wanted to be the king. Killian wanted to kill his father.
Yeah.
So I think it was more about
he saw it coming
and passing it on than it was about the siphon having a sort of power.
Can you imagine how we talk about, and I think I brought it up last episode, we talk about how manipulative Killian is to Meryn, but think about how manipulative this siphon is to his entire siphon line, which presumably somehow they have siphon babies. Don't know how that happens. Maybe book 2 will understand how siphons can be born.
Siphon biology.
Yeah.
Mating lesson.
Normally vampires can't have babies, but siphons somehow can because they all look alike and they're all descendants. But leaving that aside, this one siphon has completely gaslit and brainwashed his entire family such that King Cyril is, okay, it's my time to die. I guess I'm just going to die now and be okay with it. It's just crazy to me.
Think of it more like a Quicksilver vampire than a typical vampire. Like a Quicksilver vampire is just a fae who also is immortal and sucks blood.
Yeah.
You know? But they're turned So I guess what you're saying. Oh, I get it.
But they're
because
still fae, so
they're
they can still
human.
have children.
No, the difference is they're human, and then this one siphon is possessing them to make them a
Right.
siphon. There's
Cyril
only
and
one
Killian are
siphon
human.
at a time.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
are still human.
Yeah.
Okay, but here's the other question. Sorry.
Like they're not
I was almost
vampires.
I was almost there,
Yeah.
but then you have to remember that the original Alistair Brightbane, who
Alistair Brightbane,
begins this line of kings, was a siphon when he killed Kiara.
Yes.
So he must have had a child that was non-siphon before he came
No,
siphon.
It could still be a siphon. It's not a vampire.
Well, that's what I'm saying is
It's a
that siphons
siphon.
clearly have babies.
Right.
They
Yeah,
do,
yeah, yeah.
right. So they
That's what
are
I'm saying. Think of
vampire-like,
them-
but they're not. We can't use like our
Yes.
typical canon of what
They're-
a vampire
yes,
is.
They're
in this world.
vampire
Yeah.
adjacent.
Yes.
Yes. I
Yeah,
got
but I think
confused
what
when you
Anassa's saying
mentioned
is like,
undead.
I can't wait to find out what because they're not quite vampires, but they are
Yes.
like them. So I
Okay.
wonder what other powers they have or other canon is right
I'm-
and what isn't.
I'm going to guess that we don't get a biology lesson.
No siphon mating class
Look,
101.
I
Like,
just need
we
to
barely got direwolves
understand.
101.
And it's called Direbound.
I don't think we're getting siphon
Look,
The
mating
Wolves of Ruin.
101.
Come on.
I just need to understand. I
think we
I
just
need to
figured
know.
it-
I just
Sable-
We just figured it out.
Sable,
Sable
just tell me.
Sorensen.
Yes,
That
guys,
they can have
you,
children.
You got
Yes.
it. You got it. They had children.
Yes.
Please just
They had
verify, please. I need to know this because
Kathy
I
needs to
mean,
know.
vampires can't have babies, but I guess siphons can,
Yeah.
and I just need this
Yes.
verified.
They're adjacent, vampire adjacent. King Cyril, whether we know if he knows he's about to die or not, he says, oh, wait, one last battle, and it starts right now.
Right now.
Right now. So, whatever the king unleash with that sword, it's as deadly as an arrow at their throats. They're compelled to attack each other, to betray our bond and tear each other apart. But I am their alpha, and I won't let the bastard on that throne take anything or anyone else from me. And she screams, Fuck the king!
Yes, girl.
Get it.
And the prince.
What is the reason why we have a sword that controls the direwolves? Why does that sword exist?
Oh, you're actually asking.
I'm asking because Queen Kiara had that
sword.
And she was living in a time where bonded and non-bonded and wolves lived in peace and happiness.
Yeah.
So what is the purpose of the Iron Blade?
It was made into the Iron Blade, I think, when the blood curse started.
Nope.
Because
Kiara has
What?
it in the vision. Kiara's got the sword.
Kiara
right,
has the sword.
she has the sword, but I don't
but
think
a sword.
but I don't think it had the power to control the direwolves
You think
in
that's
that way.
the
And
blood
if it
curse?
I think the blood curse is what made it took away, because there's a portion in this where it says that blood from the slain wolves and the bonded going on to the crown is what helped give it power. And so that's why the crown was buried underneath the stadium. One, it was buried underneath so that no one else could use it, because obviously the king is not going to wear a queen's crown. And so he didn't want it to be part of what he needed to wield. But the blood he used, because the more blood that got on that blade with this blood curse, the more it was going to stay powerful and allow him to be in control of them.
But it still begs the question, like, if the
What did it do
sword
before?
was made, like, we're assuming the Brightbanes were the ones that made the sword to control the direwolves, potentially because they did not have control of the direwolves before.
You mean make the
And this is
magic
why?
of the sword, not the physical
Yeah.
sword? Okay.
Yes.
Exactly.
Imbue
Yeah.
with the magic versus just letting it be just a regular sword that the queen
Right.
has.
And I
Totally
guess that
agree.
answers the question, is because before they all lived in harmony, but now that the Siphons are taking over that bloodline, they want control. And so they created the sword magic, not the sword, it's physical sword, but the sword's magic, in order to control the wolves.
Yes.
Yes, I agree with that.
Okay.
I agree
Okay.
with that.
She says, quote, I can sense the king's hold on them snapped the moment I gave them my rage. So we're assuming, right, it's because she is the true queen. her
That's my
feelings
assumption, yeah.
overpower that bond with the sword.
Yep.
Right?
Has to be.
I think so.
She says, whatever happens next, don't break formation. Anassa springs them onto the platform. She knows that Meryn is what she's about to do, and she is fully supportive of this. Again, we talked about this before. Anassa does not care about killing. She's all about it. She's like, bloodlust,
Especially this
hells
bitch.
yeah, let's go. Yeah.
Yep.
Kill the king.
She's like, this is justified. I'm good.
I love when she approached, because Anassa was still pissed at her for whatever other reason. She's always pissed at Meryn.
They're always mad at each other.
They're always, every other day she's mad. But she was like, fine, but do it quick. Like, fine, kill the king, but be speedy
Hurry
about
up.
it.
Let's get on with this.
Yes.
I'm
move on.
over it. I'm done. So she kicks the iron blade out of his hand. She picks it up, feels the hum. This is my iron blade.
There you go.
Feels the hum of the power. And she says, the instant I take it up, power, ancient, overwhelming magic sears my veins. It swallows up my entire body, vibrating through my arms and legs, making me lose my grip. My heart screams in my chest. It's like I'm breathing in lightning, like the barest nudge could lead it to rip through my pores and sear the entire arena. The sword is alive in my grip, humming with energy that reaches for me. The metal warms in my palm as though it's fusing to my skin, responding to me, clamoring for my attention.
Hold,
I
please.
love it.
Hold, please. You bring up some amazing quotes right there. And
Let's go.
it counters what we just said.
Okay.
Sword
Let's
has
go.
power. Sword has power. A blood-cursed sword would not react to her in that way. A Siphon blood-cursed sword. So that sword must
Has power.
innately have power to control the dire wolves, period. Otherwise, why is it reacting to Meryn holding it?
But could
I
it,
mean, unless, it could have siphon power.
yeah, but could it
She's
be
not a
like how the
Siphon. Why
blood
would it reach
curse?
out to her?
But could it be like how the blood curse prevents Anassa and Stark from telling the truth, but it doesn't mean that they don't know what they know? Like, what if the sword is the truth, the power is the truth, and the blood curse prevents it from enacting the real power and instead allows it to be
But
wielded
that would
by
still
the king?
then
'Cause
say
clearly
the sword has
yeah.
innate power before the blood curse.
And it does say that it's ancient. I feel like it's the ancient word that means that it's not just siphon magic, that it is.
Yeah.
Like the quote, quote definitely reads that it is something more and that is responding specifically to her. Not that if anybody picked it up, they would feel the power, but something.
So, Lindsey, I agree with you. What's the point of the sword? Why create a sword that can control the dire wolves?
Does that mean that when Queen Kiara had it, that the sword was powerful? Or is it both? Is that it was a powerful sword then, the Siphons took it, used it to overpower the wolves, but now that it's in its rightful owner, it still has an innate power, but it no longer controls them.
Yeah.
Or it's just that she doesn't misuse that power.
Right. It has the power and they misuse it. Yeah. Okay.
But she does use it.
No, she doesn't
kill
use
the
it in the
king.
same way. She doesn't use it to
Well, she
control
uses
them.
it to chop his head off.
I mean, yeah.
She uses it like a sword is used. Yes,
She uses it
Lindsey,
for
she
its intended
does.
purpose.
Let me use my ancient pen sword.
Yeah, I'm on team the sword has innate power. I'm fully on board. Fully on board.
So I would like to know, let's add that to our list of things that we really want to explore in books 2 and 3 is
sword power.
The sword.
The power of the
Sword
sword
power.
and the crown, because we haven't seen the crown
And the necklace.
yet. And the necklace. The tritium.
All of the hallows. Please tell us what all of the hallows do.
Well, the only real hallow is that goddamn engagement bracelet. No, those are the hallows. That's the Horcrux.
The Horcrux.
That's a Horcrux. Yeah,
That's a
hallows
Horcrux.
versus Horcruxes is very
Could do a whole
very important
episode about that.
conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then Killian. Killian. Meryn, what have you done?
I'm
Guards,
so shocked that you killed my father.
seize her.
Meryn.
And
I
then
was livid at this point because, as I said earlier, I did not see this specific thing coming. And I went,
if I could have frozen time at this moment, traveled inside the book, I would have hopped up on that little platform, got right here in her face and said, told you so.
Told you so.
right?
Knock,
Told
knock,
you.
knock.
And this finally, Killian's little mask slips. Meryn sees Killian's true nature, and for a single instant, I see something. I swear I see it. Covers it up quickly, but Killian's lips turn upward. It's a tiny, satisfied twitch, his eyes glinting blue, his gaze calculating. Now, not only does she finally see his facade cracking, but I also think that whole glinting blue is a way for the author to say, hey guys, he's actually possessed right now by a siphon. Like, that's our clue, because we see later on his eyes do that because he is possessed.
Yep.
So
Yep.
For
You
sure.
see the satisfaction of Brightbane within Killian, that
twinkling his little eyes
all
at
this
her.
is happening and he got what he wanted. He's in a nice new brand new model king, turned king, because she just did the dirty work for him, and now
Officially
she's gonna be put
King
away.
Killian.
Mhm.
And then
King
all
Killian.
of that, and somebody just knocks her out.
Somebody knocks her out. She's down. You know what? I
Yep.
just realized I had a ta-da moment too. Obviously, the Siphon's going to be extra excited about it, because if Meryn is locked up and, in his opinion, hopefully dies, and the sister is sucked dry by him as a Siphon, there goes. That's the end of the royal line, and they're officially done with
I
the
don't think that's what
Sturmfrost
he
Queens.
wants, though. I think
You
he's
don't
fully.
think so?
I think he's fully on board with Killian's plan of using her power. I think he cares more about using her power and controlling it, because otherwise, I feel like the Siphon is strong enough as a character, even though he is inhabited in somebody else's body, that if he was 100% against Killian's plan, because this is a very elaborate full year's plan to get to this point to where she is queen and I can steal her power. If he disagreed with that plan at any stage, he wouldn't have allowed Killian to continue on with this plan.
But I don't think
And
Killian told his dad that whole plan. I don't think
not
the
the
Siphon
dad,
knew
the
the whole plan.
Siphon. I think so.
Yeah, but the
I think the
Siphon wasn't
Siphon
in
knows the
him.
plan.
How? He would have had to talk to his father, who he was inhabiting, to tell him the plan.
I still think the Siphon knew. Because the
I don't
Siphon
know.
knew
I'm
the
kind
whole.
of.
I just think the Siphon knew.
I don't know which
Which way you feel?
yeah, because part of me, like, my initial reaction,
You're like, you're both
is,
wrong. You're both idiots.
Well, one of us has
No,
to be right. Siphon either does or does not know.
right, but I just can't decide where I land, because part of me thinks, then why would he tried to kill Kiara and her family.
Right, he did.
So his first intention was to kill off the line. Over the years, did he realize maybe
stealing
that
power
wasn't
might
the way
be
to
better?
go?
Yeah, but
I don't know. I can't decide whether I feel like he wants to use her or kill her.
I think Killian wants to use her. I don't think the Siphon wants to use her. I think the Siphon wants to end it.
So what'll
That's
be interesting to know is
guess.
how much control he has as a Siphon over Killian. Like, who can be dominant in that possession?
Yes.
Because he does let her go, Killian as Killian, not in his I've faded to the background Siphon at the forefront. Killian lets her go so that he can siphon her magic at the very, very end, right? Siphon's aware of everything that's going on now. He lets it happen either. And so I guess we don't know if that was actively or just passively. Like, we don't know how strong this possession works.
Yes, that's a good point. Like, what does the possession do? How much is the Siphon aware? How much is the Siphon in power? And can the Siphon change the will of the person that it's in all the time or not? Like, is he truly himself?
It has to be
I don't care.
Because
really?
It's been 500 years of going from person to person. He's got massive control over them.
Yeah.
But to me, like, I was just sitting here thinking, like, I wonder if that means that Killian is going to get a redemption arc, and I don't care.
No.
Because you still did all the bad shit that you did
100%.
Oh, no. I don't think
100%.
we're trying to use that as a way to defend Killian.
No.
I think we're trying to say that they are of the same mind of wanting to use her power.
Right. So is Killian gonna still be able to do whatever he wanted to do in the first place, whether evil or not, or is his will gonna be fully taken over by the Siphon? But yeah, no, I don't. If Killian got a redemption arc, I'm out.
I wouldn't buy
I
it.
am out.
I wouldn't buy
Yep.
it. I would
I
say
do not
sorry.
think so.
Yeah.
Gone.
No, Stark is endgame. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, but just because he's endgame doesn't mean that
There's no redemption.
there's no redemption of the like, I'm sorry that I did the things that I do.
Nope.
I
You
did,
murdered
I
the
was
mother.
so
There's no sorry.
whatever,
There's no
know.
sorry. Go to
No.
jail. Go straight to jail.
Yeah, right. You did everything.
You did everything.
So Meryn wakes up in the castle dungeons and she feels nothing but shadow all around her,
Mhm.
right?
Shadows.
More shadows.
'em.
So we kind of talked about this in the last episode. Are the shadows protecting her? Are the shadows working against her in this moment? Or do we just simply not really know yet?
Wait to the end.
I don't think we know yet, but
Wait to the end.
shadows come in with the bracelet, so I feel
Mhm.
like now
Yep.
they're nefarious, but
Yep.
we don't know at this point. I love the word nefarious, by the way.
I say
Lindsey said it
nefarious.
in an episode.
Nefarious.
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 I say nefarious.
But it's fine. I like the word anyway.
It's a good word.
It's a very good word.
Anassa is next to her wearing a collar.
Like a dog.
I feel it's so degrading, though,
It
to
is.
have done
yes,
that.
Yeah.
it is.
It prevents Anassa from communicating with her Strategos pack, but Meryn and Anassa's communication remains intact, and her mating bond communication also remains intact,
Mhm.
which is very, very important. Killian didn't
God.
realize
Mhm.
that,
Mhm.
so didn't
Yeah.
think ahead.
Yeah. Because like a collar is a symbol like that you're owned, right? Like if you
Mhm.
think about like dog collars, right? And it's like you said, so degrading. It's like, no, I have control over you. But she's like, but you don't know that I actually still have all these powers and I'm connected to people and watch out. I love
There's a
this.
reason I didn't tell my bonded about my mating bond.
Yep.
Because you didn't even think about that.
Exactly.
And I think everyone was like mad that she hid it from her.
And now we're like, oh, thank God.
Okay, so Killian enters the cell and basically gaslights her into thinking she was going crazy like her mother, obviously putting on a show for the guards,
Yep.
right? Like it's not necessarily it's a show for Meryn, but it's also a show for the guards so that they trust in him
Yep.
in this moment, right?
Yep.
It's all about everybody trust in me. I am the way. Gross.
If you're listening and not watching, Lindsay's making some really funny faces because she
made
hates
faces.
them.
She says, quote, he steps forward. As he does, his face passes through one of the sparse beams of light from above. For a single instant, when the light hits his eyes, they looked ghostly, like the bright blue of winter ice. But they slip back into the shadows. They look normal again. So 2 things here. This is what Katharine was talking about a few minutes ago, about that is the clue that Lucian was in there. But also
Not Lucian.
pick up the word Alistair. That Alistair was in there, but also pick up the word shadows here. But as they slip back into the shadows, they look normal again. To me, that reads as shadows are evil. The author doesn't use the term slips back into the darkness or away from the light. Specifically, the call out to the word shadows, I feel like is important.
Mm-hmm.
I would agree with you.
I like it.
Thankfully, Anassa tells her not to listen to him because she was almost going to listen to him.
Right.
In this exchange.
She was like, is it my mother's illness? And Anassa's like, absolutely not. He's gaslighting you.
Yeah. She has a quote. She says, a tiny sliver of something ancient and cold flashes across his face, a glint in his eyes, a tightening of his jaws before it disappears again behind his concern and affection. So it's like, good on you for finally seeing these things that we've been seeing this entire time. But I feel like she would have fallen into his trap had Anassa not been there to say, don't listen.
But then she turns on Anassa and says, did you know he was capable of this? Like, you never said anything. This is why I put my trust in him, because you won't talk to me. You wouldn't even tell me who your mate is. And I get Anassa's understanding here. Like, Meryn, you can't be upset when she didn't tell you, because she's been trying to warn you against him this entire time. And you put all of your faith in this man who's clearly the enemy.
Right. Yep.
And like we've said it before over and over and over with Meryn, had Anassa told her certain information up until this point, she wouldn't have listened to her.
She actually
Right?
admits
She wouldn't
it.
have she wouldn't believe her. So stop being mad when you find out that people aren't telling you things when you admit that you wouldn't have listened to them.
Yeah. No, you're so right. And she finally gets it at the end. She's like, "Oh yeah, I absolutely would not have listened. Like, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you." Yep. And Anassa reminds her that she's still able to communicate with her mate. She says, quote, "Trust goes two ways, Meryn. You demand I show you my mate in the light, yet you hide away your prince in the dark. You may not trust me fully, but I cannot trust you either. This is why I kept my mate a secret. I could never be certain that you would not have taken his name to the prince. Regardless, it has benefited us. He has not thought to ward us against mate communication." So she's like, listen, this is why. As much as I might want to trust you, I can't. And so let it go. Like Lindsey just said, come on.
And I think she kind of does. Like, I think Meryn gets it once it's pointed out to her. And she tells Anassa to contact her mate, go get Venna, find the crown, come save them. I think she never says it out loud of like, oh yeah, I forgive you for everything. But I feel like this is a moment where she at least understands that she's in peril in this moment and she doesn't have time to admit to things, just act.
Right.
Same thing as like when she got her Strategos power. She doesn't have time to understand it. She just knows.
Yep.
Right?
But finally,
Same
she's
thing.
getting a little bit more clued in. Is that a direct order? And so she finally says, I know suddenly that it needs to be a direct order. Honestly, I'm a little bit peeved here. Anassa, you could have asked that way a lot before now. And I'm not saying Meryn would have believed you, but little nuggets of doubt could have been planted and little hints. But what am I saying? Meryn wouldn't have listened. Meryn wouldn't have listened. So what am I saying? Meryn wouldn't have listened.
I feel like you just talked to yourself.
Yeah, I know. I just need to have a conversation with myself for a moment, guys.
I just watched you talk yourself into your own point.
She ain't listening.
She remember, like, she's like, oh, that's important. Like, things happen. And she's like, yeah, you should pay attention to that. That's important. And like, Meryn didn't listen to her. So she's, oh, yeah.
So did we all see it coming that Kratos was Anassa's mate?
Yes.
We all saw that.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Like the second that they said, oh, yeah, I have a mate. I'm not going to tell you who it is. It was
Kratos.
Like, obviously Starks.
Kratos.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Okay.
And if you didn't get that, it's just because you haven't read as many books as us, which is fine. You will eventually get there, and then you'll look back and be like, oh, obviously. It's fine.
I look for everything now.
Right, exactly. Once you read enough of these books, you're going to start looking.
Lindsey, I know it's a really long quote, but will you please read the quote? Because I really love this quote.
The mate snapping. Yes.
Sure. Okay. So she has suddenly drawn aside curtains that I didn't even know existed, blinding me with light and heat and satiation. My vision blurs at the first impact of her emotion, unshielded for the first time since we bonded. Her true feelings about Kratos are earth-shattering. The intensity of Anassa's desire for her mate crushes the air from my lungs and sends slow, addictive heat through every inch of me. Her longing crackles across the channel of energy between us and seeps into my blood. My lips tingle, my fingers twitch, my muscles work to move, to take, to go. To him, I realize. Stark's dark eyes watch me steadily, and a shiver passes over my spine.
So good. It's such a good explanation. It's so good.
The imagery in that quote is so incredible that I feel that mating bond.
Yep.
I'm mated now.
You're like instantly pregnant.
Yes. Like I literally feel that. And I do wonder if Meryn is going to use this feeling to fight against her feelings for Stark in the next book.
Yep.
Well, you know, Lindsey, she is very good at self-analyzing her feelings. So I'm very sure she will think deep and hard about these feelings and just completely rejects them.
Yeah.
Yeah, like she is going to, I feel like that is going to be the storyline in the next book, is her like hiding
Yeah.
behind it and being like, oh, I'm so attractive to him, but it's not me, it's the mating bond. And then
Mhm.
finally something's going to happen where it's going to click into place that it's them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and what's going to click into place is the collective throwing
Penis.
of books while everybody who's reading is like, just fuck him already.
Just do it already. I agree with that, Lindsay. And I think that in an early episode, Katharine had guessed that she might actually do the opposite and be like, well, I mean, can't control the urges of the wolves. Guess we gotta do it.
Maybe
And
we can
so-
bone each other out of our
Right.
systems. I
Exactly.
would be totally for that. For all the cringe sex
Right.
that I had
Yes.
to skip over in this book, I would really love for her to try
Yeah.
to fuck him out of her system to realize she loves him. I'm totally fine with that setup.
You're down with that. Yeah, yeah.
But I don't think that's going to happen.
No, it's not gonna
I think
happen.
she's going to, it's going to
She's gonna
become
fight
like a yearning.
Yeah.
She's gonna
fight it,
annoy
will
us.
they, won't they?
I'm
kind of
hoping
thing.
it doesn't last more than the first half of the book.
Yeah, that's my guess.
Yeah, like a good amount of it, but not the whole book.
No, I'm guessing about halfway.
Yeah, the book will be
She's
1,000
going-
pages
something's
and
gonna happen.
halfway.
Yeah, because I've read
So Stark hands her the crown and she immediately feels its power. So it goes back to what we were talking about with the sword and her feeling the power of the sword. So she's getting these objects. She's feeling their power. It does make me wonder why she didn't feel any power from the necklace.
It might be the least powerful of the Deathly Hallows.
Is
of
she
the
little? She's just a little guy?
She's just a little
It's
opal.
smaller.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm obsessed with this vision. I think we get so much
For sure.
in this vision. I'm like, I feel like I need to print this out and put it on my wall for when the next book comes out because I'm going to overanalyze every single piece of
So
this vision.
Should we go line
we
by
go
do it
line?
right now.
All right,
Let's
let's
do it.
right now.
Okay.
Okay.
We're in the same
Go ahead.
castle.
Mhm.
Wolves are walking around with common humans, not just with bonded.
Mhm.
They're in the throne room. Imagine the setting. A woman is sitting on the throne. She's pale, long silver hair, falling like a shining waterfall over her shoulders, down to her tips. Tips!
down to her tits, down to her hips.
She said down to her tits.
She said down to her tips, but it was funny because I, in my head, said tits.
I heard tits.
Stop laughing. I just need a moment.
Okay.
She's pale, with long silver hair that falls in a shining waterfall over her shoulders and down to her hips. Atop her is a crown, golden crown with twin wolves. On her throat, the opal necklace. At her hip, the wolf pommel sword. And at her feet, the largest dire wolf I've ever seen, with also glossy silver white fur. She's the woman from the statue. Beautiful depiction.
There it is. We've got artwork, people.
Okay,
We've got
Lindsay,
artwork.
those legs. Not even the human ones. I'm talking about wolf legs.
It's at this moment that if you are listening to this podcast and you are
You-
driving in the car, please request that you kindly pull your
Pull
car
over
over
and
pause,
look at this.
and look at Lindsay's square on your screen for the most
You guys-
beautiful depiction of this. Oh my God.
Lindsay, point of order. Draw the necklace.
Where's the
She's
necklace,
got a necklace
bitch?
on, bitch.
Sorry.
Also, the wolf needs to be hairier than that.
Also,
Listen,
the wolf
I
needs
had
to not have
limited
those
time.
legs. Those
That is a
very
wolf.
two-dimensional blob
It
legs.
looks like Chewbacca on all fours.
Listen, you guys, there's a reason why I have a podcast and I'm not
An
a paid
artist.
artist.
It looks like
We're
flubber.
also not paid podcasters, but that's a different thing.
Way to be real.
You guys,
I mean,
do you think when we meet Sable at con, I can
She'll
get her to
sign it.
this?
She'll absolutely sign it.
yes,
I'm
yes.
actually really proud of Queen Kiara's legs because she's sitting on her throne. I don't know if you guys picked
That's
up
a
on
great throne.
I'm happy
at
with
those
her
angles.
legs. I'm not
Those
happy
angles.
with
Angles.
the dog's legs. The
The
dog's
dog-
legs.
You may continue.
Oh,
Okay.
perfect. All right.
You may continue.
She is the woman from the statue. She has an infant in her arms. Her name is Queen Kiara.
Hmm?
And right as that happens, Siphons infiltrate the palace.
Want to point this out. Don't know if it means anything, Chiara, the way it is spelt here, is actually the Italian spelling of Chiara, Chiara, and that word means light or clear. So,
Name meaning drop for you
Name
right
meaning.
there.
I've been thinking about it the whole time because it is very clearly an Italian word, and I just wanted to make sure that there were no other different spellings, and I was like, that's kind of off, but no, that is exactly it. And Chiara means light.
It is derived from the Latin word, which is linked to the concept of luminosity and clarity.
Lumnos here, people.
Luminos.
Does Meryn mean does not listen or ask questions?
Meryn means stubborn little wench that we love anyway.
That's funny.
Okay, so Queen Chiara and the Siphons have infiltrated the palace. So we get a quote. She says, take her. She says, take her. She hands the breathless woman who is the sovereign alpha at the time her child. She says, protect my child with your life. Get her out of the castle and hide her. So this is Stark's ancestor, the first sovereign alpha that was given the literal crown, the next in line to protect and take care of.
Yep. And she also gives the necklace.
Yes, she gives her the opal necklace. Exactly.
And then, quote, eventually she finds her prey, a tall Siphon man who, my entire body shudders. He looks unsettlingly like both Killian and his father, with piercing blue eyes and the same sharp features. So this is Brightbane. She says that the vision mentioned the name Brightbane, and she says, like Lucian, who is the current Siphon king of Astriona. But this man isn't him, right? This is Alistair. So this is an ancestor relative of the current king.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So he has killed her husband and 3 older children. The youngest is the one that has escaped. And he slashes her wolf's throat. Interesting to me that he doesn't go after her, that he goes after her wolf.
Yeah.
It's such a good metaphor for their connection to each other, right? And he says, your bonded will be my instruments of vengeance. So
hold, please.
Oh, yes. Katharine has
vengeance.
Thoughts.
It's an interesting word choice here.
Absolutely.
You could easily just explain it to they're in a war. Siphons don't like wolves. Just vengeance for fighting. Or is there something more to it? This whole history of siphons and dire wolves going back thousands of years. I think this word vengeance, I think there's a lot there. I think there's a lot of history there that we're going to find out about. And I think we're going to find out why they truly do hate each other.
Yep. And if you think about it, he's been controlling the crown that has been actively fighting his family, Lucian Brightsbane, right? The king of Astriona. They're at war with them.
In a stalemate, though.
They are in a stalemate.
He's orchestrated it as a stalemate. And imagine keeping up appearances of acceptable casualties on both sides.
Yeah, so you think he's actually doing this to prevent them from actually winning the war against the Siphons.
But
that's a good one.
You bring up an interesting point, and later on, once we find out that this Siphon is named Alistair, but I mean, to your point, there's a current king of Astriona, Lucian. How much, if anything, does Lucian know about all this stuff that's going on? How much is he okay with it? Right. Is it basically like, okay, you, Alistair, can control that side. I'm still going to control this side. I mean, think about it. Alistair was the controller of Astriona when he killed Chiara. He then just moved over his family line to continue to control Nocturna. While his other descendants took care of Astriona. Yeah, so what's this dynamic between Alistair and Lucian?
I always got the impression, though, that the current king knows what's going on, and that's why the war is in a stalemate.
Okay.
But
Right.
what if he isn't okay with it? What if he is our redemption arc, Lucian?
That'd be interesting. We would have to meet him first for him to be able to get an
I'm sorry,
redemption
I
arc.
have really
me.
sexy
Lucian.
vibes of another vampire that we have that has silver hair in a book we
Oh.
just maybe deep dived.
Yeah.
Maybe
Tell,
Lucian
did you
will
tell?
be a nice little redemption arc. Probably not, but
That's funny. I did not get that at all because we've never even met him. But I like where
no
your head's
shit.
going. I like where your head's going. I also, going back to the shadows and darkness thing and the fact that her name Chiara means light. We get a quote, "Darkness finds me. And in that darkness, a familiar voice, the same one that echoes across my dreams. Chiara Sturmfrost is dead. Meryn Sturmfrost has returned. Long live Queen Sturmfrost."
Dun, dun, dun.
The pieces click into place. Queen Chiara's opal necklace given to her baby, then passed down my family line. The visions my mother received, that I received, disjointed, overwhelming, and eventually all-consuming, but containing truths. Anassa, a direwolf of immeasurable power, who had waited years for a rider, then forced a bond on someone unwilling. The crown of leaping wolves at my brow feels as if it's meant to be there. I'm the rightful queen of Nocturna, aren't I ask. And then we get one of my favorite quotes. It looks like it's one of Katharine's favorite quotes too.
Oh yeah.
Stark kneels and says, "Welcome home, my queen."
That's hot. I
So
highlighted that and
Hello.
I was like, he got down.
Hello.
So I kind of want to go back to the quote, "Darkness finds me, and in that darkness, a familiar voice, the same one that echoes across my dreams." Because when I first read this, I thought it's Queen Chiara, right? The one that she's been dreaming about. But is that the familiar voice? Or is it Anassa? Is it because she says Chiara Sturmfrost is dead? So that makes me feel like it's not Chiara saying that. It's not an ancestor saying
Right.
that it's either Anassa or Stark. And it's been them in her dreams. Who's saying this? Who's saying Chiara Sturmfrost is dead, Meryn Sturmfrost has returned, long live King Sturmfrost?
Okay, now that you
Because
say
we
it,
know that
I want it to be Stark.
Oh, really? I think it's Anassa.
I can kind of see it going both ways. Like, again, my first, and again, this is I've done multiple reads now. I always assumed that it was Chiara, but now that I look at it typed out like this, I could make an argument that it's Anassa because she's speaking to everyone, letting them know what has happened. Or it's Stark and his family line.
Right. And he's
has
also an alpha.
Right. He's also an alpha. He can speak, and his family line is announcing return. Like, I can kind of see it going both ways.
But the
Yeah, me
swoony
too.
answer is because it's the same voice that echoes across my dreams.
Right.
Swoon.
And me, I'm like, frig the guy. I want it to be the female companion that you've bonded with. But no, I kind of want it to be the guy too because
he is also the one that's in front of her. Like when she wakes up and says, "Welcome home, my queen." So it kind of makes me feel like it's Stark's voice.
It doesn't say that the voice is in her head.
In her
it
dreams.
Says there's darkness.
In that darkness.
And in the darkness, I hear a familiar voice, but it's not in her head.
But it's the same one that echoes in my dreams.
Right. So it's the same voice that's been in my dreams. Now you're convincing me that it's Stark.
I like it, and I really want it to be
I like
Stark.
both of these. I love it.
But that's such an interesting thing. Like, it kind of makes you want to go back on a reread. I think in my mind, the voice was always female.
Yeah.
And now I kind of wonder if we went back and looked, if it ever says that it's female, or we just assume that.
I don't think it says either way. I think it's left open for us to noodle on.
Yeah. And in the audiobook,
noodle, I will.
We will. We like to noodle. In the audiobook, it's female, but again, it's because it's
from
Meryn's POV, and that's how it's done
Yeah.
in the whole book. And so I don't think there's a way that we can prove it either way based on that.
Yeah. But yeah, that is kind of the
like
big
that.
moment.
I like that
if
a lot.
you think about him being in her head and then she wakes up and he has been protecting her the whole time. He kneels in front of her. I love
Beautiful.
Love the
kneeling.
importance of that. Yeah.
Yes.
Gorgeous.
And then we learn a little bit about the curse, right? So the bonded have been under a Siphon blood curse for 500 years. He gestures to the crown with a distractingly scarred hand.
Why is it scarred?
Interesting. Would love to know that.
Yeah, never brought
The
up again.
crown-
Right.
Nope. The crown and the sword together control the human bond to the direwolves. So, again, would love to know more about the hand. This is why the crown has been hidden under the arena. Their blood has been dripping into it all of these years and basically feeding it magic, which is kind of terrifying and disgusting.
Oh, yeah.
And tragic.
Right?
It's a blood
Tragic.
crown, basically.
Yeah.
The blood curse needs to feed on it. Blech.
Yeah. And it says the Siphon who overthrew the rightful royal family used powerful blood magic to bind the public's memories of the Sturmfrost royals. No one was permitted to speak of them again, and within a generation they were forgotten by everyone except for my family. As you know, we are sworn protectors of the royal line.
I freaking love it. So his ancestor was the one who snuck her out of the castle, and he said, she also hid the history book that you found in my quarters. My family has been faithfully passing that book down across generations. We've kept the truth alive through reading, even with the curse sealing it away. So they couldn't speak of it, but they could read about it, and that's how they kind of got around making sure that that history was not lost, which I love. You literally couldn't speak about it, is what Meryn is saying. Is that why I had to give Anassa a direct order to get the crown? Sure was.
Good job, lady.
Sure was.
Gold star, first one of the last 4 months.
Quote, I was raised on stories always written, never spoken about the Sturmfrost line and about the day the rightful royal would return. Finally
Made it happen.
Oh my God. Like the fact that it's broken, he could talk about it. It's like, thank God. And it all just makes sense. The reread, it's like, oh my God, it makes so much sense.
Yeah. So why, as protectors of the royal line, would you not have interfered over the years?
Seriously.
And either forced or coerced the descendants to bond?
Yes. You don't literally have to tell them anything. You literally just conscript them in a bonding year.
Yo, wolves are fun.
Would you like to go hang out with a wolf? Have a friend in your head? Are you lonely at times?
Want to pet my wolf?
Want to pet my wolf? I don't know.
Like, why would you not have interfered?
Yes. It's been 500 years.
Here's the... Yeah.
Is
the
it
thing I'm
because you
wondering.
were talking to Anassa and Anassa had a bond and knew that Meryn was the right one? I just feel like either way, royals are royals. Like if they were meant to be a royal, then they should have been offered that chance.
Yes.
I feel like the line about the day the rightful royal would return is a double meaning of not just the rightful line, but I feel like we're going to learn more in other books about why it specifically had to be Meryn. Like I feel like
I read that as rightful as in the king wasn't rightful.
Yeah,
like
me
King
too.
Cyril was not the rightful ruler.
Yeah.
It wasn't that Meryn was rightful within her line.
Oh yeah.
It's that he was wrong.
Yeah. No, I think that's why. Because or else I agree. I don't know why you wouldn't have tried to push. But again, we don't know if they tried and failed to push other people and what they were able to do versus not able to do. We only know what Meryn knows at this moment, and right now it's not a lot. But that my guess is that they were waiting for Meryn, or for some maybe if they didn't know it was Meryn, but for something to be the right click.
Look,
for them that they knew.
Yeah,
Meryn is not us, and it's her point of view, and she never asks questions, so we're not getting the answer.
She is not Lindsey.
We are not going to get this answer.
Meryn and Lindsey are not the same.
No.
And we learn that he has been trying to protect her the whole time, teaching her how to fight. He gave her the private quarters. He gave her the dress. Even the man at the beginning of the book that threatened Meryn the night after her fight, Stark killed him for threatening her. And I don't know if there's any contextual evidence to the next thing that I have typed out here, but I typed out in our outline, he's looking at her like he wants to fuck her. And I'm not sure. I don't have a quote behind that. I don't know what my textual evidence is to support that, but it's written here.
I wrote that one in there for you. And I did
So there
have
you go.
textual evidence. That sounds dirty.
Textual evidence. He's doing.
He
all
says
his
it.
Hands,
He look.
his
She's basically
face.
cuts her off. She's like, he looks like he wants to, and she just kind of leaves it like that. And we fill in the blank. Yeah, he looks like he wants to fuck you.
Love it.
He also looks like he wants to strangle her. And I mean, finally, we get a nice, like, he's just airing all of his grievances now. He's like, I've been grunting for too long. I'm going to spell it out to you. Of course, I hated you. Can you blame me? My family waited hundreds of years for your arrival, keeping the secret alive. I've waited. And when Sturmfrost Royal finally makes her appearance, she's weak and in love with the person whose family stole her birthright. Do you know how hard it was to see you with him? Know who you were even when you didn't. Sickening magic silencing me to endure our wolves mating bond on top of all of it. And then Anassa lowers her thin filter so Meryn can feel the full power of her mating bond that Stark is constantly feeling.
Amazing.
But so that quote does make me think that there is something specific with her, because he says, like, she finally makes her appearance. They've waited hundreds of years.
Right.
And here she is.
It's a good point.
And because if they were looking for anybody, the second she didn't want to bond, the second she was in a relationship with the prince, they would have been like, oh, this bitch isn't it. Let's keep going.
Right.
So clearly there's something specific to Meryn that made them wait for her and continue to put their faith in her as the proper royal.
Yep. Agree.
I think that's true. And
yeah, that's what I meant.
And then this is kind of going back to what I was saying. The next quote is, I look at Stark and my entire body screams that I'm missing him. It's not sentimental. It's not even solely physical, though unbearable heat floods between my thighs. No, it's soul deep, centered at the core of who I am. It's like we were once carved from the same bone, sharing blood and breath, and then someone ripped him from me, only I can't remember it happening. All that's left is the fury and the enduring desire to go to him and restore what was lost. So again, kind of going back to what I was saying before, I feel like she's going to take these feelings and kind of hide behind them and think like, oh no, it's just our bond. There's something I need to, it's like she almost needs to figure it out for herself and decide it for herself. And I'm guessing it's going to take to the middle of book 2. Why did you
And
just
somebody,
yelp?
You said she's going to have to figure it out for herself. Ha! She's going to be told the answer somewhere.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I do wonder, like, we talk about the wolf mating bond. Is there something to humans having that same bond? Because, I mean, I have a feeling that they're...
Jonah and Periel had it.
Well, that was because of their wolves.
They were in a really... Was it?
But that's what I'm saying. I guess what I'm trying to say is that, is it necessarily, like they just say it helps if you're in a relationship with a person who's also bonded to a wolf that's the mate. But is there something to be said about an inherent human mate, period, absent besides the wolf? And I wonder if that will be that great clicking into place that we're all hoping for, of where she realizes it's not Anassa and Kratos' mating bond, it is our own. Because I feel like she needs a bulldozer to the head to realize this.
Yeah.
And then I think this quote is really funny too. She says, I've been traipsing around, secretly a queen. Fuck. Stark's nickname for me sits different now because he calls her princess.
Sure does.
I just love that. Traipsing around.
Secretly a queen.
Secretly a queen. That
love
sounds
it.
like me.
That was funny though.
Yeah. So Stark, we know that Stark believes that the original king who stole the throne and all of his progeny are dead.
Yes, that is his assumption. He states it out.
Or is he? Right. Do we think? She wonders. So Meryn is wondering if Killian is also a Siphon, and Stark doesn't know for sure. He's like, could be, have no clue. They don't know at all about the Siphon possession yet. So we know more than they do at this point in the book.
Yeah. And can you imagine when they do find out, like in the next book, what their reaction, like all of their game plans, everything that they assumed that they knew is completely out the window.
Yep. Sure is.
Yikes.
The next one is my favorite, second favorite quote. Lindsey, please, will you read the next quote? Because I just like to be told the quote so that I can fully immerse myself in it.
Good.
Okay,
I want you to listen.
got it.
I'm going to make you listen to it in the audiobook too.
Okay, are you ready?
Yes,
Yep,
give it to
let's
me.
go.
I'm going to try to seduce you with this one. Katharine, give me the word and I'll tear his throat out. All of the lives I've ever taken were just training for this moment, my queen. Make me your instrument of vengeance. Let my hands act out your every savage, depraved thought. Use me. I'm yours.
What's that?
Was that good?
That was really good.
Double meanings. Double meanings. We love double meanings.
And I will say, guys, that quote and the when he kneels earlier, there's
Welcome
not
home,
a
my
ton
queen.
of highlighted passages in the Kindle. Those quotes are highlighted a lot.
Yes.
Yep.
But I love it because she doesn't take it and say, yep, do whatever you want. She says, you take your revenge. And Meryn says, no, it's mine. That is badass of her in that moment. There is a hot ass alpha bonded wolf man kneeling in front of you saying, use me, my queen. And you're like, I'm shooting for me own hand.
I'm shooting for me own hand. I'm doing it myself. I love.
Do you know what that's from?
Yes, Brave.
Yes,
Brave. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm shooting
Merida.
for me own hand.
Yeah. Merida.
Merida.
Very close name.
Merida.
Very close name.
Merida.
Also, by
That's
the way,
true.
she's so flustered. She's like, would you just stand up now, please? Just stop
Please.
kneeling.
Please stop it. This is too attractive. I can't.
This is too attractive.
She has a
No
plan.
such thing.
I know,
no
right?
such thing.
Well, she's got some things to do. She's got a plan. She has the guards take her to see King Killian. This whole scene, friggin' the servants give her a bath.
Make her wait.
Take her time, dress her up like a doll. I was like, the whole time.
Kelly, you have to do the next quote because you liked this nickname for way too long.
Quote, the nickname almost makes me break my facade. Kitten. I see what he was doing now. To the rest of the world, I was a fearsome alley cat, but to him, only a pathetic little kitten. She finally feels it.
Finally realizes it.
She finally realized both nicknames, which was the good one, which was the bad
Princess
one.
and kitten. That's so funny. In this one chapter, she realizes he wasn't saying princess sarcastically, and he was saying kitten sarcastically, or like a jerk.
She's really getting there finally.
I don't know. This whole scene between her and Killian, obviously we found out a lot of information. He says that he basically admits to everything, right? He knows it was her the entire time. He sought her out. He says that his ancestors didn't think that it mattered, but that he had bigger plans. So even his dad kind of fully admits that he wasn't really in on the plan. Like, this is all kind of Killian's master work. He thinks, right? He admits that he kills her mother. He admits that it's Alistair Brightbane, who is the Siphon King, who killed King Kiara. And again, he says in here that when it was passed down that the Siphon realized that the king was going to die and he demanded to be put into him. We do learn a little bit about magic here. So it's called transference magic, siphon blood magic. So this type of magic is tough to hold, particularly during the bonding trials when so many wolves need to be controlled. Only the strong blood of children could give them the power they need. And then he also admits that he drained Henry after graduation. So lots of information.
Yeah.
And finally, Meryn is sick of it. And she's like, all right, team, you guys can come save me now. I've gotten the information I need from him. I've heard enough. Come on.
Yep.
And then
she seduces him basically tricks him into it. There is a line, and I wish that I wrote it down, but there's a line in here about her power and how many men she's had in this position. And I wish I had it because it was so good. It was so powerful. And it kind of brings you back to like one of the first lines that Katharine, we talked about that you highlighted was basically like, I can take advantage of men because when they think they see a weak woman, this is what they do kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's just such a good line. I wish I had it in front of me right now, but she says something great to him before she tries to kill him.
Well, hold on. Let me see if I can find
get
it for you.
because it's so good.
So now let's close the loop on shadows. Let's talk about some shadows here, because I think this whole next section proves we have a shadow mama on our hands. So as this is all happening, she mentions the shadows moving around the room like they're alive and hungry. But then the shadows grab her own wrists and ankles, and she's yanked away from Killian. The shadows are moving like the swirling storm. And she has this quote. She says, "My magic. And just the same, there's this vast part of this forest of power that is severed from me. This blood-boiling, endlessly expansive magic is only a fraction of a deeper reserve. When Anassa senses it, she projects a warning that feels like she's closing her teeth around my scruff, yanking me back to her side, but I don't have time to analyze her concern." And I immediately thought of, you're going to power out. Like, you're not ready to absorb all of this type of power. Like, calm down. You're not ready to be that vessel yet. Like, you're going to burn yourself out. Did you guys sense anything else from that? Because it was kind of just weird where it's like she's feeling these things and then Nasa's like, pull back.
Yeah. The fact that she uses this boiling point, to me, it's like you're in the danger zone here and you don't really know what you're doing. So I kind of got that. I don't know if I got like a you're gonna burn out kind of thing, but I was like, yeah, something is too dangerous that you can't be going there.
And then
I'm still really on the fence about the shadows, personally.
Let's keep going.
Yeah.
Let's keep going. And then we'll talk at the end. Because I feel it's this chapter and the next chapter that kind of did it for me in the reread. Yeah. So then Stark attempts to use his Deimos power, but it backfires. Use it against Killian. And Killian says that he can't use his direwolf powers against this magic. Your powers are rent from mine. And then he kind of says, well, from Meryn's, technically.
Yep.
Her shadows. So Killian disappears with a parting comment of, "Thank you so much for my new power, beloved." As a parting gift, left you a little surprise. We know that's Selah. And then she goes on to mention her bracelet, right? Her engagement bracelet. The ruby ring set into the engagement bracelet is mottled with shadows. They stir within the stone as if they're swimming through blood. The bracelet is what's sapping my strength. Killian has been channeling my magic with it. Magic I wasn't even aware of through the stone. She can't take it off, stealing her power. There's nothing she can do to get it off, not without the Siphon magic that created it. And Anassa mentions that Killian will be able to channel her magic wherever he has gone.
Yep. So it's wild to think that based on this, I believe that she is a shadow wielder. And it still holds true that I don't think that every time we saw shadows, it was necessarily her, because if Killian could siphon her power, it was, yes, she is the source of the power. But I think that if we now go back and read, we're going to see that sometimes it was her power and that protection, like this scene where they're coming around her and yanking her away from Killian.
That's him stealing,
other situations where
it
was negative, and it's like, well, wait a minute, which one is it? Yeah, it's because he's stealing it's not really his power, it's yours that he's wielding for what he wants.
And I love this next quote because I think she kind of needed to level set herself about her
Yeah.
own magic, because she says this is afterwards, and she's walking with Stark, and she says the shadows around us are shifting, trembling, alive. They move with me every step I take. They stretch, swirl, and bend as if to follow me, like the drag of a finger through a spiral of paint. But even so, there's a distance. I can reach out to them and drag them along with me, but I also sense that if I had full use of my powers, I could make them do anything. I could sever the world in two. And she looks to Stark and asks him, "Can you see this shit?" And he says, "Yes, I can." So she knows that these
Yeah.
shadows,
Yeah.
it's not in her head.
Yeah.
Everybody
Yeah.
else can see you wielding shadows now, lady. But she can't reach her full reserve because that damn bracelet that won't come
Right.
off.
Right.
And it also makes sense that she would ask him because throughout this entire book, she has been plagued with visions.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so when you see something like this, wouldn't your first response also be like, wait, I'm not
Right.
crazy, right?
Question mark?
Like, you
Especially-
see this too,
Yes,
right?
especially when you only recently learned that your mother, who you believed was mentally ill for your entire life and you're in your early 20s,
Mhm.
was not actually mentally ill. It's going to take a little while for her to get over the fact that she's not going to become mentally ill. It's not a family sickness. These things are real. And
Yeah.
so, yep, it's like, confirm this for me, because I know that I'm not crazy now, but am I not crazy? You know, like,
Yeah. She had a
please.
massive info dump.
Yes.
But good thing she's the alpha of the Strategos.
That's right.
Got that
Good
covered.
thing.
And then we think we're going to get a nice happy ending, right? We go
Literally.
into Venna has found the children. She has freed them. Stark has Sayla in his office. Meryn tells her everything. Again, we have to remember that Sayla is the next in line. She also probably has power hidden down in there, tampered. She also is just finding out for the first time that, like you said, her mother was not crazy. And also, by the way, your mom's dead. And also my boyfriend killed her.
Right.
Like, there's a lot
Oh,
of
yeah.
information.
Lee is,
and
by
we
the way,
think-
a crown prince.
Oh,
the king.
also,
Right.
he's
and he
the
just
king now.
effed us
There's
over.
there's a lot
Yeah.
for her to catch Sayla up on. And Sayla is taking it in stride. You really think that this is going to be this nice, happy ending. But actually,
Nope.
no. Because guess what? Sayla is a Siphon. Wow.
She starts convulsing. And
Wow.
they're like, what the heck? And they remember that he said, "Oh, as a parting gift, I left you a surprise. Here's a surprise."
I was devastated.
Right?
That is one thing
I
I
didn't
did
see that
not
coming.
see that coming. I really thought, oh, we're at least gonna stop the book with like a somewhat happy ending.
Right.
I thought it was gonna be like, yes, I know I'm queen, I'm taking it over my
Right.
kingdom.
Now
But
I need to get
it's-
revenge of this
It's
king.
so much more than that.
Yeah.
Like, it's personal.
It sure is.
If it wasn't personal before,
right.
it's
Yeah.
personal.
Yeah.
now.
I also got a kind of like perverse satisfaction. And this sounds horrible, but when that plot twist happened, I was like, ooh, that from a story perspective, oh, that's a fun plot twist. Like, there's a lot to go from here with that one. And
Yeah.
I'm like, from an entertainment factor, I'm kind of like, ooh, that was good. I can't wait to see where that goes.
Absolutely. Like, would I be chomping at the bit to get the next book after Killian did all this stuff and he left and now he's the king and we know he's a Siphon? And yes, already I want the second book. Now you turn the sister, who the entire book was about Meryn trying to find and save her sister. She finally reunites with her on the last 5 pages, and now she's a Siphon. Like, that just took my like feral level to the next. There's no feral level above where I'm at for this next book. The limit does not exist.
The limit does not
The
exist.
limit does not exist. And random thought that I had. They said for the bracelet, going back to the bracelet, the only thing that can remove it is the Siphon power that created it.
Yes.
Do we think it has to be the exact Siphon who created it? Or are we talking about Siphon power in general? Because could Sayla potentially be the key to getting the power back if she is a Siphon now? And is that part of a plot point that we can get? Just
I
throwing
think
it
that
out
would
there.
be too easy.
You think? I don't
Like,
think they
if
would
you could-
figure it out.
Yeah, I think that if you could get any Siphon to do it, it would be too easy because you now have a Siphon and you're freed of the power.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be more complicated than that.
Unless, plot twist, adjacent,
Yeah.
the Siphon power was Sayla's. And they don't even know they have the key.
Oh my God, that's true. But then she would have had to have been a Siphon for a little bit longer because she's been wearing it for a while.
I don't think she was trying to legitimately make it happen.
I was just making a joke.
But
it was a very funny joke. I like.
But I like that you took it seriously.
I did.
Yes.
And you were ready to defend.
I was like,
the point.
let me think about it. Let me think about that.
Yep.
But yeah.
Last quote of the book. Let's end it with a bang here, guys. I am Meryn Sturmfrost, Queen of Nocturna, and I will use the twisting dark in my bones and my blood to hunt Killian Valtier to the ends of the earth.
I love that quote. Twisting
It
dark
is
to describe her
twisting
magic.
dark.
And it's in
It
her
is
blood and blood.
I am a bad bitch and I am fucking ready for this fight.
Right. I am here. I was a badass before I came to the
But now
castle.
I'm a queen.
Now
then
I'm a queen.
I struggled because I was learning a whole new thing. Then I became the frickin' alpha. Now I am the queen with a badass wolf bonded to another badass wolf of another frickin' alpha. Are you kidding me?
Who's hot?
Who's really, really hot.
Who's hot?
Come
also,
on.
he's hot.
Ooh,
We mentioned he's hot.
Kelly,
I
don't
need
leave
to
out
climb.
the important details.
That licks neck tattoos.
And fights in
These
an
are the
appropriate
important-
manner.
These are the important things. Come on. It's great.
So book 2 is got to open. How? Is it some conversations are going to be had? Are we going straight to the battlefield? Do we even want to go there right now?
Are we getting a flashback history lesson, which the dorks in us would love?
I don't think I wanted to start there.
I'm so curious
Yeah.
where book 2 is going to open, because now she has to take on a completely different role. She's got everything in her life literally has changed.
Mm-hmm.
So I just can't wait to see how we open it with book 2 and how we continue with this fight, because yes, Killian is bad and yes, he's the enemy, but there's a big enemy out there.
Yeah. I am hoping that we get even more in book 2 of her confiding in her newfound family, in Anassa, in Venna and Isabel, and leveraging them and the fact that they love her and want to help her and their powers and their gifts that they have to be like, okay, I know I wanted to find my sister, but fun fact, I found her, and guess what? She's a Siphon now, so I'm gonna need your help. Like there's more work to be done.
Yes.
And so I'm hoping that we kind of get like a training montage scene of like, all right, they're preparing for like, how are they strategizing? What are they gonna do? I don't know how it's gonna start, but I would like for it to be like a team thing.
Logistically speaking, though, it's not a team. She is the queen, and she has announced to everybody via Anassa the truth about everything.
Yeah.
But she has to rule now. Like, it's not just the going to battle. She has the kingdom she has to run.
Yeah.
So I think
she's still a bonded, right?
Yes, but that doesn't mean
trumpet, right?
just because you're
saying being queen is going to trumpet.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, I think she's going to have to take a step back. It's not going to be instant go into battle, because it's going to be, I have this role. I have to run now.
And is that going to be part of her frustration of, I want to go to battle,
probably.
I want to hunt Prince Killian, but oh wait, I literally have a kingdom to run now.
Yeah. And what does that even mean too? Because now can she change, like, what does that really mean?
She has to go rule, but remember what Stark told her. Use me, I'm yours.
Mhm.
Send him off.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah.
Ooh, I do like it. I do like it.
And like you said, she has a newfound family who can go do those things, or maybe leave someone behind
Yes.
to
To help
pick
you.
up the pieces of the kingdom in her stead.
Yep.
So I could kind of see it going either way. It'll be interesting.
I hope she
Yeah.
gets Igor a nicer
see.
house.
Aw, Igor.
Yeah.
Well, going back to her friends too, I do think that it is very possible, like you said, Lindsey, that like she leans on them for that help, because one of the other questions that we asked Sable, and it's actually the last little tidbit that we have, which is kind of fitting given it's the end of our final episode of our series, is Lindsey asked, what character in your mind is the most underrated? And Sable Sorensen said, this is a hard one because we don't think anyone is really underrated so far as we've seen, but we do think that Venna doesn't get a full opportunity to shine in book 1 and is kind of lumped in with her sister. So we're excited to bring her character out more in book 2. So
I love that.
that could be a little hint that we're getting more of the sisters, and specifically more of Venna, and maybe she'll be, even more a part of the plot and the strategy.
It is interesting to think about, like, clearly, I kind of feel like Venna totally got time to shine personally versus Isabel. I think we saw Venna prove herself and has justified her place in Meryn's court, or on Meryn's side. But it does make me wonder if finding the children and freeing the children and basically being the catalyst to all of this coming out wasn't Venna's time to shine.
Yeah.
What else is she gonna do?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Totally agree. I was like, really? When
Yeah.
that was the answer, I was like, oh. Yeah.
Because I could have
Just-
seen that
she-
on
we got a little
Isabel,
hint.
but Venna
Right.
did a lot.
Yeah, but Venna did a lot. Yeah, exactly.
She sure did.
Like, I do think that Isabel was kind of like the main friend
Yeah.
in a way, because I think Isabel was in her pack.
Yep.
So that made them automatically more connected, as like Isabel was the main friend.
Right.
But I think Venna was the one that was given the opportunity to prove herself, and
Yeah.
she absolutely did.
Yep.
So
100%.
okay. Well,
Oh.
I cannot believe I'm saying this, but that is a wrap on Direbound,
my
and more specifically, this set of chapters 45 through 58. But yeah, a wrap on our in-depth coverage of
Can't believe
Direbound
it.
by Sable Sorensen.
I'm sad. It went by
went
so
so
fast because this was our shortest deep dive that we've done so far. And I'm like, what do you mean? I want to
know.
talk about the wolves some more.
I know. Let's talk about the wolves more. Well, the good thing is that we do have 2 more books
We do.
coming up that we will be able to continue to talk about the wolves and get all of those answers to us as overly inquisitive females.
Yep.
We will finally get answers to.
Isn't
Yep.
that,
But
what is it,
thank-
March 2026 is when the
May
second?
now.
May now
May?
was pushed back
May.
till
Oh.
May.
Push back to May.
We will definitely be talking a lot more about the Wolves of Ruin series, especially because we are excited that we're going to get to meet Sable Sorensen when we are at Romantasy BookCon in October. Not only will she be there, Annie will be there specifically, and we'll get to meet her at her booth and chat with her and hopefully not overwhelm her with all of our love and affection and questions about the book.
Don't go up to her and go, Dire Blood.
Dire Blood. She'll be like, she's going to
Dire
see
Blood.
us coming and be like, oh my God, they're here. Turn around. I'm kidding. We love
Lindsey
you. But,
thrusts a picture in front of her saying, I made this. You signed
I made this for you. But we'll get to meet her, ask some questions. And also another fun thing is that Lindsey, Katharine, and myself are going to be moderating some panels at BookCon. And one of the panels that we are moderating, Katharine and I specifically will be moderating, Sable will be on that panel talking
It'll be so
about
fun.
trials, competitions, and the possibility of death. So excited to talk to you guys more about that after that happens.
So fun. Maybe we'll get her to give us a little
Hints.
info.
Little info.
I doubt it. She's been pretty good about not
Yes.
Very
ruining
good
things.
about not
Can't say
spoiling, which I
anymore.
appreciate. Because as much as I'm
Yeah,
like,
I
I
do
want to
too.
know,
I know.
I
know.
like to experience the book for the first time. So I
Totally.
actually don't want to know.
Yep, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us for Book Club this week. For our next few episodes, we are going to be covering a few books for authors that we will be meeting at Romantasy BookCon in October. So be on the lookout for those episodes to drop soon. Happy reading, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
One more time. Darn blah.
Dirt blood.
Dirt.